We locked in. You already know what up.
Yeah, what's the deal? What's the deal? Shout it out, man. What's going on? We locked in. What's up, man? What's popping, Mikey? What's the deal, brother?
Man, it's a lot going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Free Blue Boy, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start out with
Absolutely.
that. You know what I mean? Definitely free
Yeah,
Blue Boy, you heard?
let's get
Um,
that up and jumping.
yeah, we got to get into that, you know what I'm saying? Off
Yeah,
the
that's a
top, you
fact.
know what I mean? Free Blue Boy, you know what I mean? You
How
already
you
know,
been?
man. Yeah, I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Working, doing what I need to do, you know what I'm saying? Getting people jobs, getting people housing, you know what I'm saying? Doing what I'm supposed to be doing out here. Getting ready to release this book for us, you know what I'm saying? Songs of Condemn. You know, we
Yeah,
lit, bro. Just
let's
blessed, you
do
know
it.
what I'm saying? Doing great out here, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Just blessed, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
and I know we got a couple of things we got to talk about. We got to kind of sum all this up, bring it all together. Mention a few things, highlight a few things, a little highs, low lows, but we're gonna kind of like bring it all together, man. The people out there who've been supporting us, they've been our day ones, as we like to say it. But they not aware of what's going on behind the scenes. It's a lot going on. The topic tonight, we talking about our brother Blue Boy. So there's definitely something that we need to address. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of what's going on, what happened, this and that. Before we move forward though, man, if you're just pulling up for the first time, please, man, make sure you guys hit that like button on your way in. Definitely show y'all support, man. We appreciate y'all out there. Y'all tuned in to We Locked In. I'm Moshe. Here's my brother right here, Mikey B. The
B-Lo,
topic.
appreciate you, bro.
Oh man, Bilo, thank you, man. Thank you for that, man. We truly appreciate that, man. Wow, man. Thank you, man. Wow, we didn't see that coming, man. We truly appreciate the love and support where it's coming from. So this is the deal, right? And before we get to talk about Blue Boy, we do want to state as a disclaimer that we locked in. The content that we come up here and we build with you guys with is coming from our hearts. We're not speaking about issues we're not familiar with, that we're not directly invested to. But in this case, we talking about somebody who we know very well. But because of his current situation, unfortunately, man, we can't speak about too much stuff. And then we talk about the specifics about what he's been currently accused of. Right now, he is being detained for allegations, and we don't want to speak about any specifics pertaining to that. We don't want to give the district attorney any more evidence that they may be trying to use against somebody, because as we all know, man, you are presumed to be innocent. So we don't want to push a narrative up here that we are trying to provide the district attorney's office with any information that can be used to incriminate our brother. That's just not what We Locked In is about. Now I'm not saying where you might be able to find something else at somewhere else, but right here at We Locked In, we do have specifics and knowledge about certain things, but that's just not for us to kind of share that.
Facts.
Understand that there's boundaries with this thing here. And there's just certain boundaries that we're not going to cross. We Locked In is just going to put things in its proper perspective. But with that, I turn it over to Mikey. What's up, Mikey? Let's hear what you got to say. I know some
Yo,
things you
bro,
want to.
man.
What's up, bro?
It's a travesty, you know what I mean? It's just bad to have a bro locked up. Shout out to Big Baby Davis for giving Blue Boy a job. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find jobs, and we're gonna go in on that too from a different perspective. But just shout out to him. He's out here working. We were the second interview that he did. The first he did the Nah Boy. Salute to them.
Shout out to Nate Boy. Shout out to Nah Boy. Shout out to Nate Boy and them.
Yeah, shout out to them. The first interview he did when he came home, he did it with Nah Boy and them. And then he came to We Locked In. We welcomed him home. We had Shaquell up here, Moshe, Mel Kross, Soul B, Shaquell. Did Mandu tapping on that one too?
I don't think Mandu tapped. Not on that one. Mandu tapped in on the one dealing with our real rights prison advocates, and on the one dealing with the book publishing stuff, but not on the Blue Boy one.
Disco
was there. Yeah, he was there.
China Brim was up there.
Yes, he was.
We had Baby Jim was up there.
Yes. Yes.
Baby Jim was up there. We had a lot, and we was able to squash a beef with Blue Boy up there.
Yeah.
The beef was the type of beef that if it was in prison, it would have probably been crazy. It would have been somebody would have got injured. So, you know, it shows his character, where his mental state was at, that he was willing to squash beefs for things that he would have, you know, hurt people for in the past. It showed that, you know, he made a little change coming to society, and he was ready to, you know, deal with conflict resolution in the right way. Giants take HTV, salute. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Giants TV. But
absolutely, please subscribe to Giants. And also, I see Jay Renee is in the building. We Nation, please, man, subscribe to Prison Riot Radio. Jay Renee, we got to get up too, sis. I need to talk to you about somebody who's being violated, man. The rights of prisoners are being violated down there in well, so-called prisoners down in Georgia. So it's something I want to talk to you about. So when we get an opportunity, please, we definitely need to get up. But that's another conversation. But yeah, pardon me, Mikey.
That's all good. But you know, just speaking to a few of these facts, as well as, you know, we're going to talk about guys coming home, you know, reacclimating themselves to society, having help, where the areas that you're going back to, is that fruitful for your release? Is that fruitful for the success of your release? For your successful transition back to the community? Because we have jobs, and you know, we give guys jobs out here. You know what I mean? It's actually my job to give guys coming home jobs. That's my job. So we're gonna speak to a lot of different facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
KK should be pulling up with us shortly.
Man, should be pulling up as well.
Man, should be pulling up with us as well.
And we don't know if Mel Kross and So Be a Quell will be up, but we definitely have some heavy hitters that should be tapping in with us later on. There's no question about that.
And like Moshe said, you know, we hear things, and you know, we got the inside scoop on a lot of different stuff that we hear, but you know, we are not going to speak about certain stuff, like, you know, with ongoing cases, like I have told other people in the past, like we locked in, we have tried to, we can't tell anybody what to do, but we ask people to do, you know, to respect people that's going through these cases, certain type of stuff. So we're going to try to you know, walk that fine line, and in the same token, we're going to, you know, continue to inspire, give motivational impact, and give good information on the question at hand, on the things that we speaking on. But go ahead, Mo. What do you want to start with? Where you want to start at?
So, and I want to speak specifically about just the issue in general, and I do need to touch on this. And I know, Mikey, you and I, we spoke about this previously, and just for the record, so we put Blue Boy in the title, but this is a much more microcosmic issue. But the more macrocosmic issue is the issue of reentry, of recidivism, and individuals who we are familiar with. Some of us who unfortunately have experienced this ourselves, but who, for whatever reason, got entangled in the criminal justice system. And we're talking about individuals just making that transition out, right? So it is about Blue Boy, because we do want to definitely talk about, you know, the issue of his incarceration, of his recent arrest, but we don't want to specifically like exploit his situation to kind of capitalize off the fact that he just unfortunately was rearrested. But we want to draw attention to the much larger issue of individuals who spend an exorbitant amount of time locked down and unfortunately find themselves back in the system. There are many examples of individuals who we could speak on. And I just got, you know, literally just was made aware of that. Individuals like Boxing Ball, right? We know Boxing Ball was out for some time, and then now he's locked up right now for 3 to 4 murders. Roscoe, among other individuals, and it's so many different individuals who we can name. So what we do know is that we can speak to many examples of individuals who unfortunately recidivate after spending so much time inside of prison. And so we want to address the issue of recidivism. We want to define what recidivism is. We want to give you guys some clarity on that. We want to speak about, you know, just mental health. We want to talk about family support. We want to talk about just like your mindset when you coming out here, what that looks like. Because this is a much serious issue, right? If we just kind of narrow it down to one person, then it gives the impression that we just talking about one person, and that's not the case. We're talking about tens of thousands of individuals who find themselves going back and forth. There's like a revolving door going in and out of prison on a daily basis. So I just want to kind of like, you know, highlight that fact and look, and you're right, Quite Tank Head is another one. I mean, we can keep going on and on. So there definitely are some issues that we want to address and be able to address them appropriately. So I just wanted to put that into perspective. So go ahead, Mike.
Let's start with him just coming out here. So Blue Boy, you know, he came out, he did a couple of interviews. He did a few interviews. Like I said, he did Nah Boy, he did us, he did Vlad, he was up there with Mike Tyson. He did a lot of different interviews. We were the first guys to put him in a video. You know, we were out in Brooklyn. He did the that's the actual clip that y'all see right there. That's a clip from the video shoot that, you know, we shot for Hood Love Records, for Ray Walsh, for my record company. We were shooting the Biggie Baby video in Brooklyn. You know, Moshe, all these guys that you see, that y'all see on the thumbnail. Matter of fact, let me just go to it. This is actually from this is a picture from the video shoot. We have a lot of different videos. You know, we have and it's up there actually on our. We have an actual live going in about the video shoot. But you know, Blue Boy is a solid individual. You know, he pulled up with Mel Kross. If Mel Kross didn't bring him to the video shoot, I would have picked him up and brought him there myself. So, you know, this is the relationship that we have here. We have total trust in each other. It's solid, which is something that you really don't find nowadays. Blue Boy is a solid character. If he's there with you, if he's down with you, no matter what your affiliation is, then he's going to be there for you. Now, you've seen a lot of people show him praise and a lot of love when he came home. It was deserved. It was deserved. I mean, we can all hold him, you know, to the things he did in his past, but you know, it's his past. We all have done things in our past. Some are worse than others. And he was freed, no matter what anybody has to say for that. Now, like I said, we're not gonna go into the particulars of his case, but if anything happened during the you know, him working, then I'm sure obviously if something happened at his job, then he wasn't the initiator of that. Just to speak on that alone, I don't know. You know, I don't know anything about the particulars of the case. I'm not going to speak on any of that. But that alone is going to speak highly that something happened at your workplace and you were the instigator of that situation. That's going to work well for him in court. No matter what he did in his past, he's obviously out here working. He used his story to, you know, to generate an income for himself, which is something great and something that a lot of guys try to do when they come home, but they can't. And he actually did it. Do I agree that, you know, that's the best place for a person like that to be coming home? Probably not. Them type of places is going to see a lot of action. It's a lot of dispensaries and stuff like that opening up all around New York City and other places. And, you know, unfortunately, it's going to be incidents where guys are going to try to come in there and do all kind of different things and, you know, take stuff, and the stuff going to go down. And if you're in a security job in a place like that, then you're going to see some action. So, you know, hopefully, you know, the guys at his job and the people that he worked with got his back on that, because I know he wasn't initiating nonsense at his workplace. I know it wasn't nothing like that from what I'm hearing. I don't know, but I know he's not that, you know, he's not that type of guy. But I'm glad, Mo.
Yeah, so and no, great point, Mikey. It's just so many, you know, different dynamics, and you know, and again, I want to specify this because you know, this seems to be the hot topic, right? You know, Blue Boy gets locked up, so this becomes an issue that, you know, becomes the new algorithm that triggers the algorithm on YouTube and things of that nature, right? And again, we end up doing ourselves a disservice by not addressing the much larger issues of the criminal justice system, all right, and our people recidivating. The national statistics, according to United States Department of Justice, is that within the first 3 years of being released, you know, individuals are 67%. And this, again, these statistics, sometimes they can be very inaccurate, so don't take them on face value. But 67% of individuals who serve time in prison are more than likely going to recidivate within 3 years. All right. So is this about Blue Boy, or is this about the individual? And then a lot of the recidivism, but those statistics drop when you factor in when you factor in the equation of individuals like Blue Boy who spent 39 years and things like that, the chances are that when you spent that much time in prison, they will decrease significantly. Okay, so but the reality is that individuals are still going to recidivate. And what does that mean? What does recidivation mean? What does recidivism mean? It means the manner in which one returns to prison after being incarcerated and serving time in prison. All right. So again, this is not just about Blue Boy. This is about a lot of black and brown bodies across the country and poor whites across the country. Individuals are going to at some point basically be treated a certain way by the criminal justice system. Individuals like Meek Mills had to experience something like that. He had exorbitant amount of time where he spent. He was on probation just recently because he had the exposure, he had the financial support. He was able to kind of get himself out of that predicament. But there's many individuals who, Mikey B, you work with as a reentry specialist, myself, who I work with the youth who unfortunately are criminal justice involved, are continuously being sent back and forth to the prisons and things like that. So again, I want to focus specifically on.
Yo, hold on, let me say one thing before you move on from that.
What's up, bro?
We're working in this field. Blue Boy was also going to Rikers Island to talk to those guys on Rikers Island. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Blue Boy was also doing some of the stuff that we were doing as far as nonprofit organizations and going back and giving back to the community and talking to these kids and talking to these people in gangs and trying to help everybody get straightened out. So let's not miss that. And I hope that these people that he worked for and he's that they come to his aid and make sure, because those are character references. If he has to go to trial for the situation, these are the things that this will show the new person that he was when he came back to the community, no matter what he had did in his past. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and again, individuals are gonna, I know individuals. The streets talk, right? Everybody thinks that they have their own perspective of the narrative, but again, there's a lot of individuals who we could talk about. There's a lot of individuals who, unfortunately, are getting sentenced to a whole bunch of time, right? They've being sent right back to the prisons and things like that. These situations and these circumstances are something that, unfortunately, we in our community are continuing to, go through. So, this is something that we need to address. This is something that needs to be discussed. This is something that we need to sit down and figure out, what is the plan moving forward for us? Are we providing stable opportunities for individuals who, unfortunately, are spending such exorbitant time? Just think about an individual like Blue Boy, who spent over 40 years in prison. He said, while he was locked up, he lost his mother. Think about that. When I was locked up, I lost my mother. I know individuals like Big Bro, Stacy, when he was locked up, he lost his. We all could speak to the fact that many of us lost our moms while we were incarcerated. And how many of us came home to a family? How many of us were fortunate to come back home?
I was fortunate to see my mother when I came home. That's a fact.
Mikey, you were fortunate to come home to have your mother over. You spent over 25 years in prison, and yet you still look at Jalil. Jalil spent 49 years in prison, and he still came home and his mother was alive, right? And then
that's a blessing, bro.
That's a blessing. And then she ended up passing away after he came home. But my point in that is saying that, bro, are we still coming home to stable households? The people, our immediate families, our extended families are not the same when we come back out. The communities that we left are no longer there. Blue Boy, in this case, was a career criminal. Most of us are career criminals. We came in when we were young, or we were a lot younger. We're no longer the same individual that spent over 25 prisons in jail.
Blue Boy did too. You got to remember, he came in when he was 16.
This is my point.
How does he know how to deal in society after doing all that time and living a violent life in prison as well? We were fortunate to be in classes, to get college. You got a degree. I didn't get a degree, but I went to college as well. We taught classes. We wrote books. We did a lot of other things to build skills to come back out here in the community to be able to be successful and to be able to work. You see what I'm saying? A lot of guys that do that time, they don't come out with the same skill set that we have, so they can't get right back into the workforce and hit the ground running like you are a regular citizen out here in the community now. Everybody can't do that.
Let's speak about these challenges, Mikey. Let's talk about let's put it into perspective, because a lot of people out there, Mikey, who didn't go through what we went through, don't know how difficult and challenging it is to come back out here after doing all that time and trying to get yourself out of that predicament. Like what if you don't have the family support that you once had when you were 15, 16, 17, 18 years old? Now you're a 45, 50-year-old man. Your mother's gone, your father's gone. Any siblings who you might have might be gone. They might be living in other states. Cousins have died, friends are no longer here. What type of situation are you putting yourself in to empower yourself? And who's extending their hand to you to empower you?
Right. Check
so
it out.
Where are the resources at to become empowered when we spent so much time in prison and we're coming home saying, hey, I'm no longer the same individual, but I need an opportunity to prove myself?
My case, probably Blue Boy's case, probably your case, probably KK's case are anomalies for people being released from prison. We are anomalies.
Why is that?
We have wives, we have families, we have supporters. Like Blue Boy said, Bobby Smurda gave him $10,000. Right? That's what he said in one of his with his interview with Mike Tyson. That Bobby Smurda gave him $10,000.
He did say that.
Check it out. Excuse me. Think about this. He was living in Manhattan, right? $10,000. And let me tell you something. My family, my friends gave me more money than that when I came home. I got more money.
Facts. No.
Just to keep it in perspective. But this is an anomaly. The average person that come home is not getting that type of money. They got $40. They got $40 in a bus ticket.
Absolutely.
Make it happen. Absolutely. Make it happen. I'm driving guys. I drive guys to interviews. I drive guys to parole meetings. They don't even have money. Some people don't even have money to get for transportation to get to where they got to go. But in his case, he was given $10,000, which he spoke on. I don't know what else happened, who else gave him money, or what else happened, right?
Yeah.
$10,000 is not enough for when you been in jail. So you 39, you brand new, rent, food, clothing. $10,000 is nothing in New York City, bro. $10,000 is nothing. If you got to pay a rent, that's going to be going in a couple of months. If you got 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, he was in Manhattan. Rent in Manhattan is like what, $3,000?
Yeah, yo, this is exactly my point. Exactly my point, bro. Yo, you speaking so much to that. Yo, just are you living with loved ones, or do you have to pay your own rent? Because some individuals, we know comrades coming right out, going straight into the shelter. They're going straight
I seen people go straight to the shelter. I seen a lot.
Even if you're paying rent or mortgage, individuals is pushing $25,000, $3,000 a month. That's over $30,000, $35,000, $36,000 a year. Where you getting that money from coming straight out of program? And look what Belo's saying. We can't wait for the government to do reform on prisoner release program. It's on us. And yo, this is my point. So
right.
And me and Blue Boy had this conversation about, about being exploited by individuals who see you coming out, seeing your remember when Mikey, we was all together, we was talking, it was like, yo, bro, listen.
We was talking about that.
Brand your name, because individuals will do everything to exploit you. So I think we're dealing with a much larger issue of Joey P, man, you did over 20 years. The link is in the chat, man.
I'm gonna drop it again for him.
All right, drop it again. Joey P, pull up. This is exactly the type of conversations we need to have, because we're realizing that this issue is about the community.
The link is in the chat.
The link is in the chat, bro. And we're talking about whether or not you're able to sustain yourself after spending so many years confined to the prison cell. It's like, yo, bro, how do you acclimate yourself back out there?
Yo, check this out, Mo.
The community is not supporting you like you want them, or you need them to support you.
Check this out, Mo. Look at this. Now, after COVID-19, right? They are checking your credit history. And when you get an apartment, when you go to rent an apartment, your rent is not supposed to be more than 60%. Mm-hmm. It's 40 or 60% of your monthly income.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if you have no income? How do you get a
This
apartment?
Is my point.
If you have no, look, up here where I work right now, right? My actual clients right now, they got a reentry program up here, right? In Syracuse. They got a reentry program. They're giving these guys the first month's security and the first month's rent. They come to me to find housing. I hook them up with housing. I take them on to see the houses, to see the company property managers. I do all that.
Yeah.
But guess what? They don't have income. So even though they're getting the first month security and the first month rent, the landowners, the rent managers are not going to give them they're not giving these guys the apartments because they don't have an income.
So let me ask you a question. Are we failing? Is the system failing us when we come home, or are we as members of the community failing people who come home? Is it our obligation? Do we have a moral obligation, or do we just say, man, the hell with individuals coming home from prison?
The first thing coming home you got to do is get a job, because you have to establish income and credit. Rent to get an apartment, they are checking your credit score. Your credit score is checked. What kind of credit score you think Blue Boy came home with after 39 years?
I mean,
400? Yeah. 500?
I mean,
but that's what I'm telling you. He can't nothing. It can't be zero, because you build credit by using credit, and he's been in jail for 39 years.
I mean, and some of us, I mean, we're literally like invisible until we establish credit, because they consider us to be dead anyway. So, I mean, I know some interesting stories, but that's another conversation.
You hear that? Most don't get the support they think they're going to get when they come home.
Listen.
Speaking of that, right? I had money saved up. Ja, Mo, you heard?
Mm-hmm.
I had money saved up. And I said, yo, I wasn't counting what nobody else was going to do for me. I said, yo, listen, I have a wife. We have a house already. I came home to a lot already. So I was in a good position. I had a place to stay. So all I got to do is find work. My family, my friends hit me heavy. They took care of me. You see what I'm saying? So salute to them. Everybody don't have that millionaire friends, guys in the industry, family that's in a good position. They can say, yo, here, hold this and get on your feet. You good. Everybody don't got that, bro. The average person does not have that, bro. Come home from prison, bro.
There is no question that you are absolutely right. And even some of us who think, and I'm not using Blue Boy to kind of say that about him because I don't know this, but even individuals with names like that who you think are coming home and going to be taken care of by the street, so to speak, are not being taken care of on that level that you think that individuals are being taken care of. Because, I mean, look at it this way, right? We should already have systems in place that when individuals, that's what I'm getting at, Jose Montalvo.
Well, Crossroads, salute, man. Crossroads, pull up, man.
Yo, this is what I'm saying right here, Mikey, that we should already have the systems in place that protect individuals from having to recidivate, right? Because one, it should be no issues with whether or not individuals are getting jobs. There should be no issues with whether or not individuals have a steady income coming in, right? How are we putting ourselves and our people in a position where they can empower themselves? Are we a part of the problem, or are we part of the solution? I mean, because at the end of the day, I remember Blue Boy saying this to me specifically. He was like, yo, Moshe, he said, yo, bro, I need a job. He said, I need a job. I want to work with the youth. This is what I want to do. And I want to know whether or not you have any opportunities available for me, right? This is exactly how he came to me. He came to me with that proposal. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of people come to us like that. And the question is whether or not we are providing them with the assistance that they're asking for, or we're failing them in the process.
I think society is failing us because we look to parole to do everything. And parole don't even tell people to come to me. I pay for IDs. I pay for permits. I pay for licenses. I pay for all that stuff. I take dudes to and from all their meetings if they need me. You see what I'm saying? Like parole meetings. They might have got to go to a health meeting, health assistance. I do all of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I do all of that, bro. Okay, Crossroads. But like Jose Montalvo said, we supposed to build these things. If we get a building right now, Moshe, with our information and the program development skills that we have, if we get a building right now with rooms, a regular house, a regular big house, just say a brownstone, right? In a living room area, we'll put that as group meetings. We got rooms. We got 10 rooms. They will give us a grant. They will pay us to let people be released into those places and for us to get them everything we need. We take them to and from parole hearings. That's money. You can do that in any community right now, and they're going to give you a grant, and they're going to give you money to do that right now, bro. Because so many people are coming home to these shelters, and they can't do nothing with them. They can't get out the shelters. I know people that's getting money from what is it, DSI, like monthly disability. It's and they're some of my clients are elders. They're over 55, so they can go into elder housing. Elder housing is like $400 a month up here, bro. $480, right? But guess what? You only getting paid $360. Excuse me. A person that I know, they're getting around about $450, right? The elder living is $360 a month up here, bro, in certain places. But being that it's so close, you got to figure 380 out of 450 is about 75% or 80% of your check, your monthly income. They're not going to give you that apartment due to COVID. Well, COVID messed that up. COVID messed everything up with the landowners. Now they going hard because once COVID hit and people couldn't pay, they could not get evicted. Well, look. So now they making sure everybody that goes into their apartments that's getting rent can pay that rent.
Well, all right. So let me touch upon that. But let me touch upon what Platinum Ascari is saying here. When you got to have a plan, right? And I agree with you. You got to have a plan. I'm gonna actually go pull it out when Mikey comes back, right? Inshallah. And I'm gonna show you guys that I literally had a plan. I'm gonna show you my plan book. And in my plan book, I had a 5-year plan before I was released. I had a 1-week plan,
we had that
2-week plan, a 1-month plan, a 60-day plan, a 90-day plan, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3, 5-year plan. But see, one thing about your plan on Platinum is this. It has to be consistent with other factors and variables that exist in your life. For instance, Mikey B's point. Shout it out, Brother B. This is what I'm saying, right? I have family. I'm thankful. But Mikey, look at this. I lost my brother. My brother got killed. My sister got killed. My father died. My mother died. My family's, my immediate family. Yeah, I got other siblings. I got a big, huge family. Right? But I was thankful, Mikey, to have a wife. I was thankful, bro, Mikey, to have a wife who was able to make sure everything was established on the foundational side. Right. So that I didn't have to come home and worry about housing. See, we talking about the 3-headed monster: housing, family, and employment. My first month out, I was employed. I had housing and I had the family. So I already walked into that 3-headed monster, that 3 triangular system and structure that's needed for anybody to successfully thrive and not recidivate back into prison. You need that. And it makes your plan more feasible, more realistic, because you got the support of your family. They see now that you're in a position, you're working hard, you're doing everything you have to do. So if one of those things are off, if the family is not there, or if the family is there, but you don't have the job.
If you don't have,
if you got the family, you don't have the job, or if you just have your family, your family, your job, and the third one I mentioned was the shelter. If you got one of those 3, but you don't have the other 2, it will throw everything off, and it will disrupt everything you got going on. So that's the part we need to really focus on.
You're right, bro. You ain't saying nothing wrong, bro, because the backbone to my success was me coming home with a stable place to stay first, with food on the table. You know what I was able to do, being I had money? I was able to volunteer. I volunteered before I got a job. I showed them what I could do. I volunteered in the same place I'm working now. I volunteered there doing programs that I made in prison for the youth. I was just volunteering, showing them so they could see my work. They hired me. They hired me as maintenance first, because I got background in maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Almost everybody in prison got a background in maintenance, right? Some type of certificate. And then I did that for a few months, for about 3 or 4 months. Then they hired me as a case manager, bro. And just the end of this year, we just got about a grant. We got 2 grants passed for about $1 million for the work I've been doing out here. You know what I'm saying? For the last year, you heard? So it's money being given to these programs. It's money being given to the stuff. Like this brother says, we got to utilize it. A lot of people got pride, bro. Where I work, we got a food pantry. We give out free food every week. You see what I'm saying? We, like, people that need it be too proud to come in here. You see some of the older, the elders, they'll need it. But it be young people that need this money too. And one thing, like, I run a fatherhood program. I was just talking to the fathers about utilizing the stuff that's being afforded in our communities. These are a lot of the reasons why we go to prison, because we're not utilizing the stuff that's right in front of us. You got people going to steal and rob for stuff that we give away every week, bro. Loyally every week. They're going to jail. They're going to rob and steal for stuff that we are giving away to the community. So we definitely got to utilize all the things that are given to us, bro. That's the only way for you to really be great. How could you not utilize the things that are right there and expect to be great or go to the next level? If you don't utilize stuff in your life, then you will never be great, because you're not going to maximize the things that you do get. No matter what comes, you're never going to be able to maximize that. But go ahead, Mo.
Nah, I'm listening to you. I was just responding. Joey P said, put the link in the chat.
I'll drop it right now.
I just did it.
You did?
Yeah, I just put it in there right there, Joey P. So this is the deal. And Mel Kross, I'm trying to get him in right now too. And I don't know what happened with Mandu. So this is the deal, right? So the thing is this, right? And your point, Mikey, I'm not in disagreement with none of that. I think the volunteering piece is important. But another factor we got to consider too is everybody's situation is different. How you might live with your family, Mikey. Let's say, for instance, your family said, hey, Mike, you know what? When you come out there, I know you've been going 25 years. You can come stay with us for a little minute before you can get on your feet. That means different to my family. My family mean, yo, you got 90 days, man.
You're right.
So I'm saying, like, a lot of times we want our loved ones to succeed, but are we really giving them the support that they really do? They really get the support that they need coming up out here? Do we help these individuals get the credit, establishing credit that they need? Do we help these individuals with employment? Do we help them with housing? Some individuals don't. We are so individualistic, man. We're dealing with so many traumas upon traumas as a community that sometimes we can spite our own people by giving the impression that we helping them. We all out for ourselves, but when somebody needs some help, they're crying for help. We don't want to help them. We don't want to provide our families or our people or individuals who are going through these long stretches with opportunities. You think what I'm saying? Because they might have a name, they might have a reputation, or whatever the case may be like that. Individuals is dealing with so many different layers of trauma. Bro, Mikey, I don't even want to talk about it, just start crying. Like, you know this already. Like, we got so much issues we dealing with overall as a people. Like, so for Blue Boy in this case, who did 39 years, or even a tankhead who was a kid. Oh, I mean, it's so many people we can name, bro, who are dealing with so many different levels of trauma. We're not even helping individuals address these traumas. You think what I'm saying? The individuals is coming out here with these mental health issues. I know I am. I know, spending all that time in there, having people close to me leave by unexpectedly, tragically, and things of that nature. Bro, we're all dealing with different levels of trauma. And these things are not being addressed. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a lot going on, man, a lot. But to the point of what you were saying, I totally agree. I totally agree. Sometimes you do have to volunteer your services to show people just how committed you are, just how focused you are, how determined you are. You know what I'm saying? How disciplined you are, how much work you're willing to sacrifice. I know individuals who are doing that right now. That they're working literally for free. How skilled you really are. And then they created a brand based on that. But not everybody is savvy enough to do that.
Right.
Not everybody possesses they might be skilled and savvy in other areas, but they might lack the savviness in that particular skill set.
And don't get me wrong, it got to be a mindset too. It's got to be a mindset too. When I came out here, let me tell you something. When I left prison, the first time when I left prison, I was back months after that. I came right back. I said, I'm not leaving prison. I said, I'm not going back to jail for nothing but murder. I was back in jail for murder within 6 months of when I got released in 1996. So it's a mindset. This time when I left prison, I said, I'm never going back to prison for nothing.
Facts.
You're not getting me back in there ever. Because I knew I spoke that into existence. They got a video floating around with Blue Boy, right? It's a video somebody posted on YouTube talking about Blue Boy's talking about if he go back to prison, he will be a star. Right? If he go back to prison, that he will be a superstar. That video is the reason why that's one of the reasons why he's back in prison. That mindset. That mindset is the law of magnetism, bro. What you ask for, what you think of, you will get. It's gonna come to you. A reason for you to go back is gonna come to you. Every day is a reason for you to go back. The situation that happens around all of us all the time, where it could be a fight or a conflict. But we are educated. We have to think for others. We got to think for ourselves. We got to think for our families. You got to know if I do anything in this situation, I could be back. You see what I'm saying? So I think his mental state is the law of magnetism, bros. What you talk about, what you speak into existence is what you're going to get. I got success. I spoke the success into existence. I'm humble. I honor the Most High. But I spoke my success into existence. I said, I'm not going back to prison. I said, they're never going to get me back in there. Under no circumstance am I going back in there. That wasn't my mindset when I came out of prison in the 90s. That wasn't my mindset. My mindset was, what? I ain't doing no bozo stuff out here. If I go back to prison, I ain't going back to prison for nothing but murder. 6 months later, I was back in prison for murder. 6 months later. And I ran. They caught me in North Carolina. So it didn't even happen in 6 months. I was only home for about 4 months for my situation happened. Words are powerful. That's right, Sonia Smith. Words are powerful. We gotta speak power. Joey P, what up?
Peace and love, man. Yo,
we gotta
Mikey,
speak love. We
that
gotta
was
speak
handsome,
success
bitch.
into the world to get that. That's what we gotta speak, bro. Like my man Joey P. All he talk is money, success, good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Empowering words, bro.
Well, so just for the record, man,
it's everything, bro.
Y'all tuned in to We Locked In. I'm your host, Mikey B. I'm here with my brother. I'm your host, Moshe. I'm here with Mikey B.
That's my brother. That's right. We won, bro.
Yeah, we wanted to say. Right. I'm here, and my brother Joey, our brother Joey P just pulled up, right? So this is my brother since we were literally children, right? I'm from East New York. My family's from Brownsville. His family's from East New York, but he's originally is vice versa. Family from East New York, Brownsville, back and forth. We like one and the same, like peanut butter and jelly. My brother unfortunately spent 22 years in the can, but since being released back in 2020, man, you're going on 2.5 years, man. We're speaking about the issue with Blue Boy. Now, Blue Boy's situation, but we don't want to narrow it down to that because it's much bigger than Blue Boy. You know that. Yeah. Just everything we basically talked about so far. Like, what's your perspective of that? What you had to go through? What some of the pointers are that we addressed? How could you relate to everything that we talking about right now with what you're going through right now? And not to mention, we're going to speak about, because your book's about to drop, in a few. So, but we're going to talk about your second book, but we're going to get into that. But we just want to talk about a bunch of other stuff as well. Talk about it, bro. What's up?
What's going on, Joey P? Talk about it, man.
Yeah, first and foremost, man, I want to salute you and Mikey B and KK, man. I watched the origin of this show right here, and I see where it goes, and I see the potential and how the authenticity is official, whether you like it or not. We out and open with it. We telling our truth, right? So I definitely want to salute both of y'all. Mikey B, I'll be watching that work you put in upstate, man. You definitely
I'm working, bro.
It's a big difference between IG and real life, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Moshe, big difference. I see you, brother, and I want to salute y'all. So to speak on the situation with Blue Boy.
And hold on, before you speak, we send our condolences to you and your family regarding your recent loss, man. We love you, man.
We send our condolences. You already know that.
We love
man.
you, my
Thank
brother.
you, man.
We
I
love
you
bro.
too, man. I love what y'all stand for. But to add on to what y'all was saying, what caught my attention is that how we come home. See, for me, to add to the contribution of what y'all already gave, and this is real talk because I'm very transparent, right? I don't do no faking with people, right? Because I believe you just keep it all the way live. You don't have to say it twice. You can just say it once and people will believe it, right? So I say that to say this. Me coming home, I was involved with a female, and my beginning stages. My last 4 years of my incarceration, I met someone and I felt at that time that they can be compatible with me, right? So without abusing her name, because I don't want to do that, because she was there for me, right? You know, let's get that right, you know. But sometimes you can believe something is going to be real while you incarcerated, but it doesn't always manifest when you get out for whatever reasons, right? So for me, I wound up going into a shelter, right? Probably like 8 months after my release from prison. And I was in a state that I'm not from. I didn't know anybody but her. Let me say that again. I'm from New York City. I got released after 22 years of incarceration to someone I didn't know on the outside. That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it just doesn't work, right? So I had to go through a shelter. I had accumulated some things at the time as well. Excuse me, y'all. I'm letting my dog out. But I had a book out. I had shirts. I had all these things. I had the plan, the same vision that I envisioned when I was in segregation, when I was doing all these things. I had that vision. I had a plan. I said, just like Moshe spoke about that 3 to 5 year plan. I had that. And I knew I wasn't going to let nobody get in the way of that, right? So why did I go into the shelter? At that time, I'd rather be in that space than in that space with the energy that was going on. So I removed myself. So that goes to the brothers and sisters that's getting into situations. Sometimes you got to know how to remove yourself. You got to stay focused on your gift, your skill set, and whatever your plan was. So when I went to the shelter, as I have videos that would display everything I'm telling you is on my Instagram, I put my book poster and my book picture and my book on my homeless shelter bed. This is not a shot at the people that's homeless. I'm just keeping it transparent. I kept the vision. I didn't leave the vision. Even in the homeless shelter, I went to work the next day and selling my books. When I went into the homeless shelter, they looked at me like, what are you doing here? You want a job? I said, no, I need a place to lay. So it's important that people realize that everything is not going to be sweet and honey when you get out if it's not compatibility. That doesn't mean you don't love them, and that doesn't mean they don't love you. It just doesn't work in real life out here, real time. So once again, I had to persevere through that. I had to stick to the script. I had to work until I could find me somewhere stable for me to live. Right? So I stayed in that shelter until I was enough money raised up selling my book on the street, and I was able to get a hotel room in a state I'm not from. I don't know nobody, but I was able to stick to the script, and people see me outworking everybody, right?
Work ethic is everything. You're right about that.
I was outworking everybody. While I'm working the job, I'm throwing trash off the street. I'm selling my book to the people on the corner. How much you want for that book, Joe? They didn't know me. I tell them my name. $10. We give you 20. You see, I stuck to the script. That's what I'm trying to say. Stick to the script. No matter whatever getting your way, think about them hard, lonely, cold ass nights you did in the box. Any great day you had in the box, I don't care if you had good drink, good, you know what's going on, all the fly stuff we could do in there. It doesn't compare to one bad day out here.
Facts. That's a fact. That's the facts, bro.
You see? So with that being said, let me diverse. By me sticking to the script, God start opening doors for me. Allah just start, whoa, because he knew he had to test me to see if I was ready for it. And
that's true.
proven.
We're gonna be tested. You're right. That's true. And let me
be tested.
Yo,
you know how many tests I had?
You see this up here, right here?
Yeah.
Top shots, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Boy in a better place. He wasn't fit for society. Oh, let me speak to that.
Yes, please.
I totally don't agree with that. I totally don't. Blue Boy was doing good out here. He was excelling in society. Now,
and we don't top shots. I don't think that's a fair assessment. We don't have the information. Again, go ahead, Mikey. I'll go after you. Promise me. I apologize.
Check it out.
Yeah, that was deep, though.
Check it out. It is deep. But Blue Boy is not in a better place. He was fit for society, right? He was excelling in society. He had a lot of opportunities that a lot of people don't have. Getting paid for interviews, doing different things.
Yeah.
People were in Blue Boy's ear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Blue Boy is a leader Blue Boy is a solid dude. Blue Boy had a job.
Facts.
Whatever interaction took place with Blue Boy, he was not going to somebody's block to look for him and do nothing for him. Whatever happened, it happened at his workplace, and he was not the initiator of that situation. In New York State, there is no self-defense, but there is justifiable. You can't be justified in your actions in New York State, though. There is no self-defense. You can't use that in New York. There's no self-defense in New York. This is not down south. Stand your ground. That's not here. But there is justifiable. Your actions can be justified. Now, if he was at work, just like I'm at work every day, and things happen at my job, I have good conflict resolution skills, and I was able to, get things deaded. They wasn't specifically coming from me, but things happen in the workplace, right? Things happen all the time in the workplace.
Yeah.
For something to happen in his workplace, it showed that he was a good working man in the community. He was out here working.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He was out here working. No matter what you saying, he was a part of what he was doing. He was interviewing and working. And if a situation took place at his, I'm glad he turned himself in too. I'm glad he turned himself in or whatever happened, because guess what? They're gonna vouch for him at his job. No matter what he did, I was a big time gangbanger. They love me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say this though, right? And I do understand what Top Shots is saying, but I disagree with the content, and I disagree with the context that it's stated in, and that to say that would give the impression somehow that the institutions that hold our people in America today is places where we should be sending individuals from our communities, right? I have a hard time accepting that right there. So I disagree with that, right? That's not to suggest that there are not people who need help for acts that they engage in. But I don't think that in this case, that would apply to any of us, right? And Blue Boy in particular. And again, I have to keep reiterating this point, right? That this is not, we're talking about Blue Boy, but it's not only about Blue Boy, the person. The reason why is because we all know individuals in our families, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, etc., who we personally know who have spent many years incarcerated, and unfortunately they return back to prison. We don't know what the circumstances were that led them back there. We don't have that knowledge, etc. And even when we do have the knowledge or whatever the case may be like that, we're not addressing the multi-layers of trauma that our people are dealing with. So we can't then condemn individuals. No, I definitely respect your opinion, my brother. No, thank you. I definitely gonna respect your opinion. That's why I said I respectfully disagree. But excuse me. Well, in this case, Top Shots, my bad. So I'm saying this, right? If we're not addressing the various layers of trauma, we then can't come to the point where individuals are faced with some unenviable circumstances like what he's going through right now, and then say that he's at fault or he's in a better place when we haven't helped him address many of those other traumas that he may have been dealing with. So each and every one of us are dealing with this, man. I don't know if you guys have never experienced this. If you have, it's not a game. Even in the background where you can see we have pictures of Pelican Bay sitting in the background. This is long-term confinement right here, right? I don't know if you guys ever experienced that, but that is not a place that helps us resolve our issue, our underlying issues as a people. All right. This is a very serious place. So even if you have a job like I do, I have a business like I do. All of us are Mikey B, Joey P. We're all working. We all have jobs. We have our businesses. We're doing everything to take care of ourselves. Does not mean that because we look to be all right, that internally we're not dealing with some underlying issues. It doesn't mean that we don't need to address some serious issues in our lives, because we do need to address some serious issues in our lives. And if we're not getting the help that we need, it only becomes worse over the course of time. Now, yeah, we might not be reincarcerated, but we might be in a relationship, a toxic relationship. And that could be a form of incarceration. That could be a form of imprisonment that you might indirectly be putting a loved one through. I know mad people who are going through some very traumatic experiences in the relationships that they're in, they want out of. Like literally, they want out of. I know people have come to me telling me they was going to do stuff in their relationship. Like, yo, I'm ready to knock head off. You're like, whoa, what are you talking about? It's your wife. And I've known individuals who almost killed their kids, choked their kids out because their kids just didn't do what they were supposed to. And my point in saying that is that individuals have not been able to address these underlying issues. So we got to really look at it holistically and come up with more realistic approaches to try to solve all of these underlying issues. But listen, man, if you pulling in for the first time, tap in, please, man. I'm your host, Moshe. I'm here with Mikey B. I guess Joey P. So yeah, let's talk about this issue of mental health, right? I know I've been alluding to this right here. Like, so what does mental health look like for you, Joey P? I know me and Mikey, we speak about this all the time, but is because it has this stigma in the Black community that when you're going out there to go get some help, you know, you weak, you know, you borderline schizo or whatever the case may be like that, you know, you a bug out. But like, what's the big issue about this whole mental health thing, and why is it connected to incarceration, the Black community, and the impact that it has on all of us? Like, what's your views on that?
Well, speaking from my own experience and my observation of other people's experiences, right? I have mental health issues. I did 22 years in prison. I did 15 years of those in different segregation units. And for those who don't know what that means, that's 23 and 1. I've been state to state. In 22 years of my incarceration, I was in 14 different institutions, 22 years. So you have to understand that takes a toll on you. And
it's hard, man. It's hard.
It's hard. It's very
hard dealing with that. Coming back out here, it's not easy, bro.
It's not easy. Thank you, bro. And
especially about this, especially when you're not a person that has worked their whole life and is used to the system of coming out here and doing that. When you've been in prison, you don't have the skills, you don't have the social skills, you don't have the job skills, you don't understand that. You don't know how to talk. And I'm not saying Blue Boy was well spoken.
Yeah.
He was well spoken. But having the skills to work in a regular place with regular people under those circumstances, most of this time he did was in SHU as well. He did a lot of time.
Yeah.
Most of
that takes a toll on you, man. That takes a toll on you.
It takes a toll on the mental. But I ain't mean to interrupt you, bro. Keep going.
Oh no, it's all good, brother. I know your passion. I know how you feel about what you're doing because you're doing it in real life. So I know what it is, right? But to go back to the subject though, like for me, like I had to like acclimate myself back into society. I had to believe some crazy stuff in my head for me to even actually do it, right? Meaning I went to jail when I was 19. Before that, I was incarcerated, juvenile, all my life. Group homes, foster homes, everything you would think of to grown-up stuff and come out 41. I never worked a job for real. Like I never did none of that stuff. So all I knew was bust your gun and get, money. How we do it, survival of the fittest, Brooklyn, Queens, New York, Browns, or whatever. How we do it in, New York City. So that was my thought process until the last point of my life. I started having a reason for breathing. I needed a reason for breathing. That's what people go wrong. They don't have a reason for breathing. And then when we come out here in society and we have this grand idea that the world's going to believe in what we're doing and what we're talking about, they're going to invest in it. What happens is a lot of us lose hope in that idea because the world isn't like that, right? So that can play a toll on your mindset as well and send you back to a place where you need not be, honestly, right? So I needed a reason for breathing. Once I figured that out, and my reason for breathing is how I've been able to cope mentally with this shit out here, because it's wild out here, right?
Yeah.
I've been able to cope with it. I figured out, okay, I still have a couple people in my life that I don't want them to pass away and see me as a loser, right? So once I put that in my head, okay, I gotta make sure that my mom see me in a different light before she go back to the essence, because she'd be cool with it. She wouldn't mind going back to the essence, knowing her baby boy has done something with himself, right? So I put that in my head. Then I start seeing my nieces. I never met these people, my nieces and nephews. I start seeing other human beings that look like me. I said, man, I gotta oh, I can't fail. Yo, because I could do all this great stuff. You doing all this great stuff. He's doing all this great stuff. And if we make one mistake, like Blue Boy made, right? Guess what happens? They talk about us too.
Yo, you're right. I'm not gonna say Blue Boy made a mistake because I don't know.
I don't mean like that. I mean,
if somebody comes to my job, see, this is just decisions. If somebody comes to my job and engages me with a gun, right? Yeah. Or whatever level, if I'm not armed, I don't know what happened. But if somebody comes to your job and engages you, what are you to do?
Oh, my job, that's different. Yeah.
And this is the story, though. This is the case.
that's crazy.
Check it out, bro. Let's think about this. The job itself. Big what's his name? Big Baby Davis?
Yeah.
Big Baby Davis gave him a job. Big Baby Davis gave Blue Boy a job at a weed dispensary. Obviously, out front in a public arena. Yeah. That's chasing clout all the way.
Yeah.
Can Blue Boy do security? Yes. Would I have put an older gentleman with that type of criminal history in that position in my workplace? Maybe. If I seen that he has the intellect to be able to deal with conflict that might come to the front door of my establishment, right?
Of course.
Or I wouldn't just put anybody. So I think that placement alone was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. So it's just certain places that I can't frequent.
Yeah.
and not because people might not be there, right? People might be all up in there, be like, yo, such and such there. And I'm not saying that there are not times where that's not the case, but a place where I have to go every day and it's potential, it could bring about potential harm to my well-being. Or I can imagine something happening in the future because of the type of environment that it is. I would have to remove myself from that.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine something either happening to me or something happening to someone else.
Of course.
There's been instances since I've been home, going on 2.5 years. I came home September 2020. Joey P, you came home October.
No, right? I came home September too.
Mikey B came home in 2021. So this is what I'm saying. I can't put myself in certain situations because I already I know me. I know my level of tolerance, what I'm going to allow to happen in my space. And so I understand that at this point of my life, what I'm trying to establish, what I'm trying to do for my family, for myself, I can't see. Before, it was all about being selfish. It was all about Moshe, how I feel, what it's about me. I don't care about my family. I don't care about my mother. I don't care about my this. I don't care about this. I'm going to do what I want to do because I want to do what I want to do. So it's all right to be selfish when you're young, inexperienced, you immature, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But when you are a father, when you are a husband, when you are somebody who your job has you in a position of leadership where you are a community leader, you are somebody where people look to you to make responsible decisions, you can't jeopardize putting yourself in situations, because not only will you lose, but the people who depend so much on you will lose.
Yeah, the reason for breathing.
Yo, check it out, though, Mo. I was offered jobs in a position just like Blue. Dudes know my work in the streets and the stuff that I did in prison, and this is right up your alley. But you know what? I ain't no dummy. I'm not taking no job like that. A dispensary in New York, they come in a book. Listen, I was, in my past life spots, that was my favorite. We coming in there. They coming.
Of course.
They are coming, bro.
They coming.
And you got to be right. They ain't coming to play.
Yeah.
They booking all kind of stuff. Man, listen, the gap between rich and poor is getting bigger in America, bro. It's not getting smaller. New York is the capital center of the world. That's the money capital of the world. New York City, bro, is the money capital of the world. You think they're not, and they broke with $3,500 and $4,500 rents. Benzes and BMWs is not nothing on the streets of New York.
Nah.
They are coming, bro. They
Yeah.
starving, they able to live the life of like everybody else.
Yeah.
So they are coming. So you got to be ready.
Prepared for that mindset. That's a mindset.
And I'm only saying that, and I'm only saying that from that perspective, because I'm not a dummy, and I know that. You understand? I know what I'll be putting myself in a line of. You see what I'm saying? That's the first thing you got to do is take an assessment of what you're going to be doing and who's going to be coming to this place and this establishment.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if I get this job? How is this going to affect my life and my future and my family and my freedom and my success?
But that goes back to, okay, so let's look at that, right? And let's just, and I agree with you. Don't get it twisted. That point right there, I agree with that, right? So, but what
NBA
about
players, rollies, chains?
But what about the point that you raised earlier when we started the live? You mentioned that allegedly Bobby Shmurda was the only one Blue Boy credited with helping him, financially when he came home. Now check this out, right? So now, hold on. So let's just imagine that he is at a point now where he's looking at his financial situation because nobody wants to hire him. Let's just look at this. Nobody wants to hire him, Joey P. The money that people have been probably giving him has been running out. And he's probably saying, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm doing something illegal, but I'm going to find a lane where I'm able to make some legal money because somebody gave me an opportunity. So it probably, and I'm just speaking, to his credit, saying perhaps he chose a line of employment because it was his only option at that moment to bring some legit money into his household. And he probably didn't think about, and who knows, I'm not saying that perhaps it might be more harmful than beneficial to him. Perhaps he was thinking, with good intent, I just want to go in there, man. I got a job now. Money is good. Somebody looked out for me like Big Baby Davis. They gave me an opportunity. The money was probably good. And he probably was like, man, thank you, man. And who was willing to give him an opportunity like that? I mean, who was willing to give Blue an opportunity like that Big Baby Davis did?
You're right. Jamel Saladin, salute. CK Diamond, salute. Salute. If y'all want to go up, Jamel Saladin, if y'all want to go up and tapping on this topic, the link is in the chat, man. Y'all can pull up CK Diamond.
What you just said, to add on to that, right? And I'm gonna keep it all the way live, like y'all already know what it is with me, man. This is the honest to God truth, because I really want to help people understand that it steps to this success thing, right? And we talking about reentry though, right? This is what I'm talking about, the reentry aspect of it, right? So when I first came home, and I've been home 2.5 years now, and these 2.5 years, I've never been without a job. Actually, I've never been without at least 2 jobs. See, a lot of times we don't understand workforce because we never worked before, right? We talk about people that's coming out the box, prison. We see Big Baby Davis, I'm gonna take the job, but I would have did it differently. Like, hey, how about we do it like this, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But I'm saying this though, the key to all of this shit is to work in places, right, where it's safe. That's what I did. I worked for places that I knew was safe. I knew I ain't have to have a gun. I knew they ain't have a gun. It probably wasn't that much money involved. That's why I did 2 of them. So I could put both of them together and make enough money to get me a car, right? And then work on my gift at nighttime. See, a lot of us trying to get to the top fast because we did all this time in prison. We want to get straight there. But the key to it is, if you have this job, and maybe that job, and you put all that together, and like he said, you do an observation of where you're working at. You also think about, okay, can I get in jail here? Is there something that will lead me down the wrong path here? So I just made sure that I worked for people that needed me.
P, you exactly right. Is this good for a dude on parole?
Yeah,
a regular
which we all on parole.
This might have been great for a off-duty police or somebody else that's not a dude that's a security guard that's a license. if you have a licensed firearm, this is great for a dude like that. Yeah. That's a great job for a person like that. Because guess what? You come in here, you try to book this or get crazy at all. Yeah. I got a licensed firearm and I can knock you down and ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
And I can call my backup.
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna wait for the cops to come. I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna give them my registered weapon, and I'm gonna tell them what happened with you laying over there on the sideline or at the ambulance or whatever happened.
No, I understand what you're saying. No, and that's a valid point. That's a valid point.
You gotta put yourself.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Yeah. Before we go on, we all went through the court system. We all know about parole, right?
Sure.
You don't even have to do nothing to go back to jail.
No.
Just the police coming to talk to you.
Yeah.
Every time I went to see my PO, he said, "You have any police contact?" Police could just talk to you, and you can go back to jail if they want to take you back to jail.
Yeah.
These are the facts.
That's a fact.
All right, so let's look at and we touching on a whole bunch of important issues here, and I want to get to this. Cosmology Bay asked this critical question, and I think this is important, right?
If you want to pull up, he can pull up too.
Yeah, Cosmology Bay, pull up, man. You asking a lot of critical questions in here, and anybody that's interested in pulling up to keep this conversation going, please pull up. Now, you asked the question: what should be the main goals of our prison system? Because that goes back to my previous question. Did the prison system fail, Blue Boy? Did the prison system fail us? Is it failing the community? Because with so many people recidivating, with so many people being incarcerated at such a high rate, we know that the United States leads the world in its incarceration of its citizens. So, and not only that, it also leads the world in its recidivism of its citizens. So my question is, what is the main goals of our prison system? Now, I don't want to hear this stuff about rehabilitation, because the main goals are rehabilitation, retribution. The third one is incapacitation, and the fourth one is Damn, you got me going back to criminology 101. I'm gonna remember that. But
remorse.
Remorse? No, he asked what the 4 goals of prison system, but on the layman terms, what do you guys think are the main goals of the prison system?
For them or for us coming out of prison?
Both, however you want to define it.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
Real quick, because this is working for the system. Don't get it messed up. They want to keep those numbers up for a reason. They could be doing a lot more to help guys that are coming home, and they're not. Mm-hmm. I'm doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. We're doing the work that the nonprofit organizations are doing the work that the system should be doing. Here go Jamel Saladin. Peace, bro. What up?
Peace, good brother. How you doing, man?
You gotta remember, bro, the system, the DOC, the Department of Corrections, the system in America is an apparatus, an offshoot of slavery. So black and brown bodies and people being incarcerated, this is a plan. This plan is working. This is not something that it's like, don't get me wrong. Guess what? If people don't get locked up, what happens? People getting fired.
Yeah.
People getting
fired. Hold on. So you saying, shout it out, Jamel Saladin. What's the deal, my brother?
Yo, you know, I want to shout it out, man. When y'all get a chance, I want to jump in here and play devil's advocate for a second.
Go ahead, play it, man. You might as well come in right now, man.
All right, thanks, man. Because we know the stories about the black codes and the release of the slaves and going right back into private prison. We know that. But at the same time, I want to come from this angle here. How about outside of the conspiracies and all of this, that prison, all of that? How about we need prisons sometimes for people that do crime? You understand? We need a place to put criminals in our society. How about that part? And prison is not supposed to be a school in the first place. It's supposed to be a place of punishment. I'm just taking that. I'm taking that.
No, it's not.
So let's look at.
No, it's not. By their law, by their rules,
right?
Prison is not a place of punishment.
I don't
think
that's
called the Department of Corrections. And if you read some of the guidelines and the bylaws, it's to correct, not to punish. It's not a punitive. It's not a punitive system. You have to read up on that. The Department of Corrections is not a punitive system, bro. It's not supposed to be for punishment. But go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say this, right? And I like that Jamel or Saladin put this question out there, right? It's a critical question. It's key, but this is what it does too. I gotta look at myself. Am I the man that I am today? No matter how much the system is oppressive and all this other stuff, and we can go into all this other stuff, right? Am I the man that I am without spending over 20 years in prison? I don't know. But what I do know is I am the man that I am because I spent over 20 years in prison, right? So I don't know what if, but I know that prison had a lot to do with who I am. I met some great people. I met Mikey B in prison. I met KK in prison. I met Soul B in prison. I met all the great people of my era and before me in this place, right? So the reality is that unfortunately it was a place where Black and brown bodies were hoarded away because of things we did in our communities. But the reality was that while many of us were there, we used it as an institution, as a training ground to prepare ourselves so that once we were released, we would have all of the tools needed to survive back out here in society. That is what I do know. I know that.
Can I add on to that? Can I add on to
of
what
course you can
saying?
add on to that, my brother.
So to the brother Saladin, peace and love, brother. I'm Joseph P. Langdon.
Now, I'm not saying prison is needed.
No. I have to keep it real though. The path I was going, I have to not give the prison system, the overall system, the credit, but I give me having time to sit back and reflect on all my wrongs. Right? See, it wasn't the prison system itself. It was just me standing still for a moment, and then the concept of do the time and don't let the time do you kicked in, right? You know that very trite saying. Don't let the time. They say
I'm putting the link right now in the chat right now. So it's already there.
Everybody say. And that's what I
send it to you right now.
At the end of my sentence,
I love you, bro.
I looked at it like this. I'm in here.
Whose phone is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I just sent it to you.
That's somebody on the phone.
Pardon me. I'm talking to Mel. My bad. It's Mel Kross. He's trying to come in.
Yeah. So essentially, basically, I wouldn't give no credit to the prison, right? I would give the credit to my own self for wanting to have something different and having the time to reflect on it by force, of course, right? You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't think prison did nothing for me because the counselors in there, the case managers, anybody in there, they don't force you to go to school. They don't force you to get a speaking degree. They don't force you to go to school in New York State. Book. They don't force you to do none of that.
You don't got a ninth grade or a ninth grade average, they're gonna make you go to school in New York.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad
in different states they don't. You know, if you 21 after you 21 and you come to prison, they don't care.
You could be 74. If you don't got a ninth grade reading average in New York,
yeah,
you going to school.
You see, I was in Ohio prison and in Virginia's prisons. In those prisons, the only time they make you go to school there is if you under 18. Once you over 18 and you try to get into school, they will put you on a list so long that you won't get into school till you're 72.
See, so this is what I'm trying to change, right? And I just did a thesis on this, and I literally just completed my capstone for my bachelor's degree, and I wrote a paper on the connection between recidivism, higher education in prison, and recidivism, right? And my argument, what I was saying was that based on the statistics that we have at our disposal, Islam Salam just pulled up in the building.
Islam Salam, shout it out. And Moshe, sidebar, keep that thought. But on Christmas Eve, I was with my uncle and he brought you up. Sammy Arroyo. He said you was in his program.
Come on, that's my guy.
That's what he said. He said you be building with Moshe. And I said, yeah. And I didn't even know he knew you, bro.
All right. So I know, listen, we got the brother Islam Salam in the building. We got the brother Mel Kross in the building. We got Jamel Saladin. Listen, man, this is epic right here, y'all. Let's pull up, man. Listen.
Slow.
What's up, bro?
I'm going to just turn the floor over to the brothers that just pulled up, man. Man, what's going on, man? Introduce yourselves, man.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Hey, what's
how you
going on,
doing,
my
bro?
brother?
What's up? Peace, peace, my brothers. Peace,
Peace, bro.
peace,
Peace
peace,
and
my
love.
brothers.
Peace and love.
Peace,
Peace.
peace.
Hey, you know, I like. I'm getting a little
Send it to
echo.
the concourse. Send it to the concourse right there in 8 seconds.
Close one of your windows, Islam Salam. If one of your windows is open, try to close the other one, and that'll get rid of the echo.
Okay.
The YouTube one, just close the YouTube one and keep
Okay.
the other StreamYard open.
All right. 10-4.
Yep.
How my beautiful black brothers are doing?
Yo,
Peace
man,
and
we
love.
right.
Doing good.
How you doing, man?
I just want to let y'all know, you know,
Today's my birthday.
happy birthday, kid.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Hey, man, you know,
Thank
I
you,
was a volunteer Muslim chaplain, and I also was a inmate imam. And I'm Muslim, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, we were talking about the blue boy, and everybody know Larry Davis was Muslim. Everybody know that. And I saw the interview with Blue Boy and Vlad, and some of the stuff that he was saying was like kind of shaky, you know, because ain't no way Muslims are gonna let somebody kill a Muslim and let him know he gonna do something to him. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You know, we got bylaws. You know, as y'all know, Muslims have their own bylaws in the prison system too. You know, right now, if you're a Clinton and you want to be Muslim, the Muslim brothers gonna run a background check on you. You just can't come there and say, I want to ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad. You can't go there like that without having a background check. Due to the fact that a lot of brothers come in there with beef with other people, and then even though Muslims, we don't mind protecting people. We don't mind doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do. We ain't a gang, man. We Allah make us to be organized. That's why you don't see Christians having power in the prison system. You don't hear Yahwehs and Black Hebrew Israelites having power in the prison. You got gangs now. Young boys coming there, gangs that trying to run things. Like, you know, number one rule, behind don't fuck with the police, you don't fuck with the Muslims. That's number 2. So as far as Blue Boy go, you know,
Slow, man.
Salute.
you know, I don't feel bad about what happens to him.
Yeah, all right. So,
Honestly.
and while we do understand that this you know, Akhi, we do understand that this is your opinion, whatever like that. For the purpose of this conversation here, everybody's beliefs and personal beliefs, anybody can believe what you want to believe, right? You know, Allah says in the Quran, "Lakum dinukum waliyadin." To you be your way, and to me be mine. All right, so we understand that. But this particular conversation that we having is not coming up here. We're not bashing anybody. We're not talking about anyone's perspective and how their opinions and what they may have stated in the past. We're speaking about context. We talk about reentry. We talk about recidivism. We're talking about a much larger and much broader issue. So we do appreciate your opinion. But Mel Kross, what's up, my brother?
What's up, Kings? Salute, man. You know, I love you, bro. Yo,
Peace,
Mike,
bro.
I love you, brother.
I love you, bro. What's up, bro?
Salute, big. Yeah, I just want to interject, you know what I mean? Because as far as I know, before all that other stuff, you know what I mean, we was just introducing all the people that came in. You know what I'm saying? Old boy just took shit left. I don't know what's going on, but we gonna get this thing on the right side of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Ain't nothing, man. As far as, you know, that was crazy, man. You know, I want to sit back and talk about some of the shit that excuse my language, some of the things that the brother was said, man. You know, when you dealing with religion and you dealing with somebody's you know, with belief in God, or you know what I'm saying, you know, them walking their life in a righteous path, you know what I'm saying? You talking about background checks and doing all this, that, and the other, as if you have the power, you know what I'm saying, to stop a person, you know what I'm saying, to talking to the divine or moving in the divine light. But then you saying that you ain't a gang, and you sitting here at the same time supposed to be a man of peace, you know, talking about you don't care what happens to this person because of X, Y, Z, or whatever the case may be. This is the reason why, as a people, we where we at. You know what I mean? Because you have people from all different walks of life, you know, that still propagate,
some of the BS that our kids promote in the street.
Separation.
And what,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is that, like, how many times we done heard our parents tell us, right, growing up, like, yo, man, just say you have a fight, you come back, you crying and everything, you know, all right, took a defeat or whatever. Parents tell you, listen, man, you better bring your ass back out there. You're gonna get a stick, you're gonna get something that you're gonna beat. You can't beat them up, you're gonna pick something up and do something like that, whatever, right? And then now that kid gets locked up. And then you go to precinct, pick the kid up, or, you know, the kid gets suspended, whatever it can be. You whooping the kid's ass, but the kid ain't just doing nothing but then what you taught him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, have to act our age. If we into certain walks of life, into religions, or we into, you know what I'm saying, this banger thing. Like I would just tell Mo and Mikey all the time, man, like, you know, even with dealing with this blood thing, you know, a lot of people wanted to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, was the thing to be, whatever. But a lot of first generations, you know what I'm saying, we took a lot of backlash, not only for us going against the powers that be at that time, but a lot of our brothers that wasn't embracing our way of banging because it came from another coast or something like that. We had to deal with a lot of different issues. You know what I'm saying? And those issues is what brought us together. Because remember, brotherhood is people coming together for a common purpose, a cause. So it don't matter what walk of life you with. That's why we embrace everybody, even the Latinos that we would go against. We all embrace them as well. You know what I'm saying? So when we speaking, so, you know, I love when I talk to my brother Moshe. I love when I talk to Mikey, because sometimes, you know, I could be falling off my pedestal, or I could be doing things that's not right by me, and only still can sharpen still. So when I just talk to the individuals or them brothers, or when I just think of them, you know what I'm saying, it puts me back in perspective.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, regardless, we all did things wrong. Blue did a lot of shit wrong. He did a lot of good things. A lot of people don't know that was backlashing us for supporting Blue. A lot of people don't know that Blue is an outlaw by nature, man. You know what I'm saying? Racial and races and all that don't mean nothing to him. It's all about, you know what I'm saying? All right, you know what I'm saying? All right, these dudes is being bullies, you know what I mean? And I stand with the weak. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always know him for. He stood by us. He stood by blood. You know what I'm saying? The reason why, you know, he was getting in conflicts with us, with some of us and everything, because, you know, people didn't know who he was. And then, you know, they say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we got individuals that would utilize the strength in the blood name to disrespect him, not knowing who he is, you know what I'm saying, and so forth and so on. And that kind of, like, you know, put a little bit of taste in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the real and everything like that, it always been respect, and it always been love. And amongst and when he's in the building and around him, whatever, he mediated and did a lot of good things. You know what I'm saying? When he could have just been like, yo, fuck everybody, yo, shoot everybody, get everybody out of here. You know what I'm saying? He sat there and talked about that. So there's always gonna be a bad, but bad can exist without good, or vice versa.
Yeah, and I wanna comment on that too, Mel. And thank you for your you know, your content, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Love you more, my brother. And I look at it like this, right? When we're talking about our own, like, individual persons, I mean, how could you expect for Moshe, Mikey B, Mel Kross, Jamel, Saladin, Joey P, any of us to be our authentic selves without being imperfect in the process of who we have become? We are not who we are because somehow we rose to success on the laurels of our perfection. Like that would be disingenuous at best. We are who we are because we are imperfect. So I don't expect for a Blue Boy to have made all of the perfect choices, and I'm going to sit up here and talk about all of the perfect things he did in his life. Blue Boy was imperfect. In fact, I probably was more imperfect than him. So I'm not going to sit here and allow us, and that just goes for anybody, to just somehow highlight the imperfections of another while not also speaking about my own imperfections. Because if we're going to do that, then we all got a conversation we have to have about how imperfect we are. None of us are who we are if we don't get to that point of acknowledging the fact that, listen, I was in my community, I was a terrorist.
On another show, Mo, I said But see, that's another thing. They try to act like there's no redemption for us, bro.
Yeah, like
They
what?
try to hold
Where's
stuff
there
over
not?
our heads forever for the rest of our lives, no matter how much we work, no matter what we do. They try to make us, there's no redemption, and they try to hold you to a bad decision of your past forever, bro. And just saying that,
Unc is coming up, Moshe. Unc, I just told Unc he's coming up.
they letting a lot of people out of prison right now, bro. They are cleaning out all the elders, all the older dudes for a reason. They want them younger dudes to have no direction in there, bro. That is not a mistake that they doing, bro. I know a lot of dudes, the governor, they just let a lot of more dudes come home. She just gave not clemency, but she what you call it? What's not exoneration, but
Parole.
Pardons.
She did she pardoned, but she changed their time. They still got to go to parole board.
Clement,
time reduction, sentence reductions.
It
is part of the pardon program, which we have been calling the splurge, the purge, because our state is not the only state to do this. I think it started in Chicago. I just did a show last week.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So it's not really. It doesn't smell right. I'm with you on that, Mikey B. Something doesn't smell right, and I just want to say this. I wouldn't even have pulled up if I thought this was a blue boy bashing party. So I pulled up because I thought this was a moment, and we could take an opportunity to actually learn from this, right? Absolutely. Because there's so many things that we can actually talk about, like doing. You spoke about it, good brother. Doing something constructive with your time while you are locked. While you are locked up, and I'm so glad he took it. Okay, I did a video when he came out, and I took a risk, man. And I said, "Blue boy, go kill yourself." I didn't know how it was going to go because it was a little bit of clout chasing, and I was just hoping that he would hear the message, right? And I did it on him and Shaquell, and I spoke to Shaquell, and Shaquell heard the message. I said, really behind the walls, I was like, "Damn, okay. I did good. They heard the message." But the whole message was, if you could somehow kill the person you was before, right? And introduce this second life as a new person. But as I heard you guys talking, how do you do that if you really don't have the skill sets? You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout it out.
I see. Yo, thank you, Jamel Saladin. I see we got my brother in the building, Mr. Samuel Arroyo.
What's up, Moshe? What's up, everybody?
Hello, bro.
I'm all right, man. Thank you, man. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I just got in from the city. I was out there taking care of some stuff.
Yo, yeah, so man. And just give a little quick backdrop right here. This brother here, I was actually in Shawanga at the time, and he came in as the academic coordinator for Hudson Link Higher Education and Prison Program, and he spoke to all of us as a student body. And just for the record, this is a brother who unfortunately, spent time inside as well. But he did something that not too many people did. He has done. He actually came home and continued to further his education. And not only did he acquire his bachelor's and his master's, but this is right here. This brother is a PhD recipient right here. And we need to give props.
That's worth a salute right there.
No, listen, bro. This brother right here, this is Dr. Samuel Arroyo. And my brother, listen. I just want you to know too. Listen, I told you when I saw you, I said, listen, I'm gonna get my PhD. I love what you do. But how you been, my brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. It's all about family for me, man. You know what I mean? I'm still doing the work. Still involved in the community, helping the youth. I'm working now. I have my own business, so I do a lot of consulting for government agencies and nonprofits that work with youth. So I had the opportunity basically to engage with the youth on a different level. We take kids from Newark, New Jersey, not just Newark, but Jersey, the tough parts, Camden, Newark, where is that? And we take them from there and we take them into what we have as a healing home, where we provide CBT training, and we also provide mentorship and help connect them with jobs, and they're doing great, man. They're doing great. So that's what I'm doing now. and involved with our population, you know, transitional communities as well. So I'm
Yeah,
doing that, man. Just
and
staying
so
active.
the conversation tonight, and just kind of put it into context. And thank you for joining us and your work as well. So we're speaking. You've seen the title. The title is about Blue Boy, and but the much larger issue is about recidivism. It's about reentry. It's about the criminal justice system. It's about higher education in prison. It's about us as a community. How do we support those that are coming back out, reintegrating back out and acclimating themselves back into society and things of that nature. So from a personal standpoint, like what were some of the challenges you faced? How were you able to overcome these things? We spoke about family. We spoke about a shelter. We spoke about employment. How were you able to set your goals while you were incarcerated? And if those goals were consistent with some of those factors that I just described, what were some of those challenges and just your experiences overall, my brother?
Well, just for me, you know, I did a decade and a half in prison. You already know, and I faced similar challenges that our guys are now facing. Right. I think the difference for me was that when I came out with a plan. Most of us wait to the last, you know, to the last minute, basically to devise a plan and not just coming out, but how to stay out. And I think that I did a pretty good job at that. And then I had pretty good family support, right? During my incarceration, I developed some good working relationships. One specifically with Dr. Carl Maza. So, you know, if you look at my life and what I've accomplished, you would think that everything was peachy creamy, but it wasn't. I faced a lot of challenges. Primarily when I got out, I thought because I had a degree, I was going to get employment right away, and that didn't happen. That wasn't the case. One of the things that I found is that, you know, in terms of rehabilitation, it's not just based on what the individual accomplishes in terms of rehabilitation, but the society that we're going out to, whether they accept us or not. So I've had my share of run-ins going back to sticking up when I got out. So it wasn't peachy creamy. I think that what changed for me was that higher education basically had an effect on my mind and how I seen things. I no longer wanted to continue to do that. I tend to like lean towards that whenever I was unemployed. But the truth of the matter is that my main desire was basically to come out and do the right thing, right? And help others, basically. Um, and it took a while before that happened. You know what I mean? I had 2 or 3 times where I was unemployed because one of the things that we face as individuals coming out is that they'll allow us in an entry level position, but when we go and rehabilitate ourselves and we you know, become professionals in the field, you know, there's always that you know, that ceiling, that glass ceiling where like be glad that you got a job because you were formerly incarcerated. So those are some of the challenges that I had in terms of employment, which were pretty tough, right? But then again, there was also the challenges with the people, my own family members thinking of me as is this guy just playing a role or he's really on his way to you know, to making it right this time. And so those are some of the challenges I had. Relationship issues, which many of our guys face when they get out. It's sad to say that a lot of our guys that do go back is because of domestic violence issues, and that's something that, you know, when you're incarcerated, I don't care how many girls we got coming to see us, if we don't have a real solid relationship with another a partner, right? You know, we really don't get that training, and so when we come out, we you know, we have issues with that. We struggle with that because it's hard to just come out and fall into you know, fall into those type of things. It's pretty difficult it was difficult for me, I have to say. So, you know, those are my challenges basically.
Was when you continue to, and thank you for that, when you continue to acquire, I mean, pursue your academic endeavors, and you began to acquire these degrees, did you still face many of the challenges that came with some of those stigmas associated with being formerly incarcerated and things like that? And I ask this question because I've been with my current employer for the last 2.5 years, right? I started off as the employment mentor, and now I'm one of the assistant directors. But I'm in the process of going to graduate school right now. I'll be graduating from, you know, getting my undergrad degree in May.
Congrats.
I'm trying to follow the same trajectory you went in terms of getting
Yeah.
my PhD. But I want to know whether or not you face some. What were some of the challenges you face if there's still those stigmas attached with, hey, he has his PhD, but he's still formally incarcerated?
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting is because I've been out now 18 years, man. I made 18 years out, so you know, only went back to run the college programs in New York State prisons. You know what I mean? But yes, even while I got my degrees, I still face discrimination. And it's crazy because a friend of mine's George Diaz, Little Leo. Most of you guys know him as Little Leo, but you know, we spoke on this topic many times when we talk about persistent post-prison traumatic stress, right? It continues. So it's almost traumatic when you feel like, okay, I've done everything possible to rehabilitate myself, and now I'm out in society, and we're faced with you know, employment discrimination, even though I have a doctorate. One of the things that I've learned is that 43% of individuals with doctorates, including doctors, dentists, and doctors in philosophies and doctors in education, is that 43% of them are unemployed. So so there's only 1% in the world of people that have a doctorate, right? So just think about the percentage of those of us who are formerly incarcerated with a doctorate. Man, it's almost like, you know, we're not even in the map. So the challenges for me are you know, I believe in feminist movement because I can relate a lot to what the women have been going through over the years, right? And you know, I understand what it is to come into a place, have the necessary credentials, have all the work experience, but yet there's a discrimination because of my past you know, lifestyle. So it still exists, but the I think the key point is that one of the things that happened for me is that I never gave up. You know what I mean? On the other hand, I use that as a motivator to keep me pushing forward. Um, and even when I went to my doctoral program, I experienced discrimination. I was the 8th applicant, right? Paid my application fee. And time went on without even hear nothing back from the institution until I met a Dr. Samuel, from the program that I entered, and he said, we made this program specially for people like you. And so when he looked into it, he told me, you know, get back to me. I'm gonna give my email, get back to me. I'm gonna look into this. All of a sudden, I got a response back from the college institution that I applied to. And you know, it's crazy that even up to that point I faced discrimination. And it was a matter of me making the decision whether I wanted to go to this institution that was basically discriminatory against people like me. And I said, you know what, I'm not gonna let that stand in my way, and I could just kept pushing forward. So yeah, I've experienced all that throughout my entire 18 years of being home, you know. So
Mel, what about you, Mel? I know, Mel, you've been out for a couple of years now. What about you? I mean, you came out after doing over 20. You haven't been back, which is great. And I know that you've also been, I mean, you've been successful in your own right. But what are some of the challenges that you had to face with coming back out here after being released?
Peace, comrade.
Peace, bro.
It's very difficult, you know. A lot of people look at our clothes, they look at our smiles, you know, we might have a couple of juries, you know, and they think that that equates success.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really know what we have to deal with. What that brother was saying, you know what I'm saying, I could relate to him. He said that very well. You know what I'm saying? I salute him because I'm basically dealing with something a little similar now. You know, us coming from our backgrounds, being credible messengers, right? Me being an outreach worker for the South Bronx, where I deal with high-risk youth from the ages of 16 to 24, you know, we provide, you know, wraparound services. You know, we got to be a mentor. Us as being, you know, credible messengers. The biggest part about being a credible messenger is one that was a part of the problem and now is a part of the solution and change their life around to where they could actually mentor the youth and not be hypocrites,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where the kids themselves would take not only the person that's mentoring them serious, but about change and the process of change being serious. But in the process, you go through life on your own. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I find it's hard for people to relate to me in certain ways because it's certain morals and principles that I understand and that I value. It's definitely a lot of challenges for us out here.
I got a question for you, Mel.
Uh-huh.
The world was kind of introduced to you from the internet, right? So you obviously you've been out here the whole time, and your comrades know you. But then it's like after Queen's flip, it was like boom, who's Mel Kross, right? Talk to me about the real pressure now. That did you feel any pressure where it was like, well, damn, I got to maintain now or uphold some type of
Standard.
image.
Yeah.
Yeah, standard. Now that the flashlight been put on me, but at the same time, I want to stay out of jail. I really don't want to go back to jail at all. Like, what was that like? Like transitioning through all of that.
That's a good question, man. One thing I learned, and I was always taught, right, that when you do something that you love, you know what I'm saying, it's not really a job. That's the difference between a career and having a job, right? When you're doing something you love. So what keeps me going, because sometimes I be like, man, because it's easy to resort to what you was comfortable and what you know best or what you thought that you knew best growing up. You know what I'm saying? So we always resort to violence and everything like that. But when I'm at that point where I'm feeling like, my purpose ain't really being reached because I feel like certain people is holding me back because of my influence and everything like that, man. What keeps me going is when I'm walking down the street or I jump out my car or whatever I'm doing, and a person be like, yo, man, oh, yeah, that's Mel. Yo, they want to take a picture, or they be like, yo, man, something you said helped my relationship out, or something you said, you know what I'm saying, stop me from doing this that could have, you know what I'm saying, landed me in jail and stuff like that. So their stories, you know what I'm saying, is a testament to let me know that my struggle is real. You know what I'm saying? And that there's people that is really listening to what we're saying and that we are really making a difference and an impact in people's life. That's why I never disrespected nobody on my panel in regards to, the BS rhetoric and everything like that. Everybody know Kross TV Network always about upliftment, you know what I'm saying, and something that you think about that can carry you on in life. You know what I'm saying? Something that can assist you in life, something that can get you somewhere in life. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about ways to think about things differently. You know what I'm
Mel,
saying? So when these same people that I inspired let me know that I inspired them in that way, it gives me what I need to keep it pushing, to keep it moving.
for all three of you guys know that Sammy's my uncle. I've broke bread with you. Me and you have broken bread together, Mel Kross, up in the Bronx. I come out there, we break bread, we do what we do.
Right.
Moshe's my brother. I've seen you. I've seen you play possum when you really didn't want to. You understand? I've seen you humble yourself, is what I'm saying, when you was being attacked. How hard was that, bro? Because for being somebody just put predator versus prey in the comment section. For being a predator or someone that's really built like that your whole life, but now you're in a situation where the internet is watching you, right? And they like, yo, what you gonna do? This dude is trying to play you over here. Like, how hard? Talk about the frustration of not being able to resolve a situation the way you used to resolve a situation while the whole world is watching.
They say that, God save, you know what I'm saying, biggie battles, you know what I'm saying, for the strongest warriors. I know and understand my purpose out here because I feel personally responsible for a lot of the things that's going on. I understand that hurt people. And I understand mentally he wasn't on my level. And I knew what was going on at that moment. And me being an outreach worker, I gotta be there and try to do what I can to assist that individual. Not only as an outreach worker, me as being a first generation damn move. When I signed up for this, I signed up because you know what I'm saying, I took a stand for my people. I didn't join to be a part of no ignorance. I ain't join or oppress nobody. And everybody know Mo and Mikey being on the contestment. Anybody that ever oppressed somebody, whatever, they always had an issue with me because I never jacked that. I always been for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's just that sometimes my reputation superseded, you know what I'm saying? Because as Moshe said eloquently earlier, is that our imperfections is basically is what got us in people's eye. So it's like, well, what are we doing different? If I'm saying that I'm responsible for what's going on, and you know what I'm saying, is to make sure
He going through a situation right there, which I felt he was going to go through.
Yeah. Well, let me just kind of like, because Mel and I, this is my comrade when we were babies.
You want to bring him down so that he doesn't interrupt the show until he gets back?
Until he gets back. People tend to highlight. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. People tend to zero in on the negative. If they might have heard you got into a situation, and let's say, for instance, you got into a fight with somebody, and let's just say somebody got the best of you, right? Like, who doesn't this happen to, right? So, they would tend to highlight that part about you versus speaking about all the good things that you may have done. And that's all right. That's fine. But I think, like, for me, I'm thankful that, I've heard some things, the internet stuff, but I don't really watch too much of the internet, believe it or not. So quiet is kept. Like, while I might gloss over a few things, the course of my day is spent really trying to empower people who I work with. So by the time I get home, I'm either doing schoolwork, I'm spending time with my wife, or I'm just like literally just beat. I'm going to bed. So I have a lot more things throughout the course of my day to do than to just simply focus on what somebody might have said about me. So I'm really not motivated by that. And to the point of the work that's being done, to Mel's point about being a credible messenger, you can't quantify nor measure the work that you're doing with somebody. So perhaps if a youth or someone's family member walked up to Mel or any of us in our communities and basically just gave us props for helping to reconcile or uplift someone, in this case, empower someone, we can't really measure what that looks like, right? If somebody's actually becoming empowered based on your wisdom, then that's great work. You can't invalidate that. So individuals could probably say, "Oh, you out there trying to help the kids and stuff." What else am I supposed to be doing? Like, I don't want to make it seem as if I'm doing a bad thing because I don't want a young individual to go to prison like I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to glorify failing and dishonoring my family name because of some stupid stick up I did at the age of 18. You know what I'm saying? We got to really, really put things into perspective. So I try to just focus on the work and not really look at success through the eyes of others, and what they may define as being successful or what they may define as being real and stand up. I'm done with that. At 45 years old, I'm not living my life based on anybody's definitions, anyone's interpretations, and how they may feel about that. I have a plan. I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm not going to lose focus on anybody's accord. You dig what I'm saying? I think that's what's most important. I'm going to remain someone of honest integrity, with a moral fiber that's going to be motivated by what's righteous. It's not going to be motivated by what's like not right and exact or anything of that nature. I'm going to strive to do what's best in all circumstances. And the only people I'm really, really out here, like really, really, really who care about what they say, like my wife, when she says something to me, that really means something to me. I sit down, I think about it, I contemplate, I cry. I go in the corner, I whimper, like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, but outside of that, I don't get caught up in that, because that's where you realize that these people don't have your best interests at heart, and they will put you in a situation where, you end up having to go upside somebody's head, and it always ends in a bad situation. That's from experience.
Speaking of that, I got a question for Unc down there. Some of the things. Okay, so when I first started working in a professional environment, right? It was hard for me dealing with how to resolve certain issues, right? I was like literally inviting people to the bathroom for the fade, right? And it's, you know, so I just want you to talk about some of the challenges that you've had to deal with when you became a professional, and how you overcame some of the things for the transition, right? Because a lot of these guys that's watching right now, you know, they have that experience with prison, and they're gonna enter into the work system. So I just want them to hear some of the stories, or maybe how you dealt with it, you know?
Got you. Well, I was like when I first started in the field. I mean, you know, you do. It's funny because we did a lot of time, and we got used to living a certain lifestyle and by certain principles. And when I came home, it was like there was a new world to me, and it was a world without values, a world without principles. Because a lot of the dudes that I was interacting with and bumping heads with were people that, you know, that couldn't live back in the days, you know. But just I want to touch base on something real quick that Moshe said and Mel said, because Mel spoke about being a credible messenger, right? And that's exactly what it takes to be a credible messenger. Your actions got to be aligned with what you're talking about and you're saying that you're about. And I think that that's one of the things that they've come to terms with, which is real difficult. Now, going back to some of the things that I experienced when I got out, you know, it wasn't peachy creamy. You know what I mean? I just have to say that my mindset, I always wanted to do the right thing. And Mel touched up on it earlier when he said that oftentimes when, you know, when we going through it, we go back to that same primitive person that we used to be, right? Because we're more comfortable in dealing with certain situations by the way we've dealt with them in the past. So I think for me was having to basically question my own self, right? Focus on my goals and what I wanted to do and how far I wanted to get in life. Because one of the things I found out about prison, man, that shit was all a facade, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of people glorify that shit, but that's for suckers. I straight up suckers. I don't care who says it's not. That shit is for suckers. And I tell you that because, you know, I have a 36-year-old, I have a 33-year-old, and now I have a 5-year-old. And you know, Jamal, I'm always around my daughter all the time. And just like Moshe said, you know, family for me is the most important things. I'm not in the corner no more. I'm not saying I don't pass through the block or nothing like that. I do because I need to be an example in the life for the people that know my past and know what I'm about now, and to share a little bit of hope. But the truth of the matter is that the most important for me is family, bro. It's not even no longer money. I'm not even chasing the bag professionally. So, you know, I work with a lot of dudes throughout the nation. A lot of them from California, from Detroit, from Jersey, some from New York, and all these dudes are leaders. I got you know, Pyru Bloods. I got, you know, leaders. When I talk about leaders, leaders in Compton and all that. You know, a different way of life than what we know out here in the East Coast. But you know, it's the same thing that I hear. The transitions, what they value, what it's the same things that I value. You know what I mean? Because we got into a level where we realize, you know what I mean? I'm 54 now. And I got to a point in my life that I know that life is short, man. And if I'm gonna do good for the community, the first people I need to do good for is my own family. You know what I mean? That's why I'm big on that. You know, so but the challenges were there. You know, I almost ended back in prison a couple of times easily, but I think that by the grace of God, you know what I mean, I didn't get caught, but I struggled just like everybody else did. I think the only thing that for me was that, yes, while I had to go back into that life just to try to get some paper because I couldn't get a job. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's so
Okay.
discouraging when you got degrees and you got experiences, but you go before an employer and they tell you, you know what, we're afraid to give you a chance because most of you guys go back. And I heard that for so long.
Damn.
And one of the things I share with the guys, like, you know, from my experience in I was a director for Hudson Link, the first director for Hudson Link for education in prison. And I have a cousin in Shawangunk, Felipe Concepcion. And if you know my cousin, he has a double life sentence. So when we seen each other in you know, when I went to visit and we're talking and he said, I got family, man. I'm telling him, Felipe is me. You know, think about it. This guy got a double life. He got a double life sentence, never coming home. But I think that during my time there, I was able to influence him to continue with his education. He got 2 degrees now. You know what I mean? He got married. He's doing this thing. But you know, we all face those challenges in some way, somehow. They may not be the same challenges, but we all have our own things to deal with. And those things in turn really strengthen us and help us focus, because I needed to really focus on what was important. I was still chasing the bag. Even though in the legal realm, I was chasing the bag. One of the things that I used to tell the guys is it's okay to get a job, right? Because I'm big on that. But it's even better to get a job, save up some money, and you form the network in here with some good guys. Why don't you guys get together, put your money together, the one with the best credit, take a loan from the bank, and you start your own business, because now you're not only, you know, you're empowering the community. You're part of a business owner, but you can also provide job opportunities for people like me that have gotten their shit together, got the degrees, and deserve a second chance, right? Without all the pushback and all the red tape and all that bull. So
and thanks for that. And that's one of the reasons why Mikey B, KK, and I, we came up with the concept of our show. And we all met each other while we were incarcerated. But one of the beautiful things that I like to mention about our time spent incarcerated, and I know Serena Williams put something in the chat about us highlighting this fact about the years that we wasted. And let me just respond to that. So when we're speaking about the fact that we were incarcerated, nobody on this platform is going to ever glorify that we were incarcerated.
mm-hmm.
Like we do not feel good that we spent years of our best lives in someone's prison, just for the record, right? We're using it as teaching moments, right? To show that, unfortunately, this is where we were, these what our experiences were, and this is how we were able to utilize that time wisely to our benefit. And unfortunately, some of us didn't, right? We had to learn the hard way. So it's just a learning lesson for anybody who's out there listening. Yep. Now, in terms of being able to meet individuals in that environment, one thing I learned about that prison experience is that you don't want to burn your bridges, because you never know who you will see later on at some point in your life, and you never know what position that person or these people may be in and how they may be able to provide some assistance for you. So one time, I'm gonna give you a quick lesson. I mean, a quick story. I used to be in work release back in the days on 163rd and Edgecombe, back up. I'm up in Edgecombe right there in Washington Heights. And everybody used to make fun of this Russian dude who barely knew how to speak a little bit of English, but he was a really all right dude. Outside of him just having just some communication barriers with everybody or whatever like that, he just was an all right dude. But you know, dudes get the rolling dice and stuff like that in the bathroom, start acting crazy, and then you know, ostracizing him from that. He always kind of wanted to like be around, and brothers like, man, get out of here, Russia, you get out of here, get out of here. He's like, yo, you know, I like this stuff, you know that old Russian stuff, right? I like these stuff. I want to watch, and they like, get out of here. And I used to be like, yo, stop treating him like that, man. Like, you know, like, why are you doing that? He just want to be around. Like, what's he's not harming nobody. So he used to always tell everybody, you know, you would want me around if you knew I get money. Russia gets money, stuff like that, right? So one time I'm literally in Coney Island, and I'm with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I'm actually driving to go get some supplies at a convenience store, at a gas station. And he always kept telling everybody he used to drive a big Mercedes Benz and stuff like that. So literally it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I pulls up, I'm about to walk into this convenience store, and I hear somebody who's pumping gas I see like a big car. I don't pay no attention to it. Luxury car. I recognized it. And I'm walking in, and I hear somebody say, Moshe, calls my name, right? So I look, I'm like, who the hell knows me? This is literally in the middle of nowhere. And I look around, and it's Russia. And the first thing that he said, you know what he said? I told you I had a Mercedes Benz. You know, that's the first thing he said to me, right? And he said to me, I walked over to him, I hugged him and everything. And my ex-girl, she's like, yo, you know everybody. Like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we in Coney Island. And you know a big Russian guy? Like, you know everybody. And so he said to me, he said, yo, you always treated me with respect. And now I want to return the favor. Here's my number. Right?
Wow.
But I ended up getting locked up after that, right? But I share that story for a reason, You never know who people
Yeah.
are. You don't know who you walking into. You don't know their past. You don't know their present. You don't know nothing about people. You don't know what they may be able to do in terms of helping you with a situation. Like, look, we're talking about coming out. We're talking about reentry and being in a position in where you might need a job. How about somebody like that providing you with an opportunity where you might have a job, a legit job? My point is that, you know, these relationships that we're building is what me and Mikey and KK was able to utilize when we sat down and we strategized as to how can we empower ourselves with this We Locked In concept. Like what Sammy's saying, we use this and say we want to be able to use this as a vehicle for change where we can empower ourselves and we could then use our voices to empower others. But at the same time, we could become empowered overall financially too, right? Let's just be honest, right? This is an opportunity to empower ourselves. So how we use this platform is a way to be able to kind of give back. But you know, I know if you pulling up for the first time listening to We Locked In, please subscribe to this channel. Listen, y'all, man. I'm your host, Moshe Cantor. I'm here with my brother Mikey B, Jamel Saladin, and our brother. You know, we have an esteemed guest here, Samuel Arroyo. I'm glad the brother pulled up. I see my brother Shim Carter's in there. Please hit that like button, man. How many people?
Listen, fellas, I appreciate it. My wife made me some dinner. I'm about to go and eat.
Oh, you way out of line. If you don't eat that, you way out of line.
But this has been enjoyable. Thanks for having me up. We're gonna talk again soon.
Appreciate you, bro. That's right.
Definitely.
We're about to close out anyway, but I'm Jamel Saladin. We do not want to stop you from eating. Tell the missus we send our regards, man. Have a good night. Thank you for pulling up, man.
All right, peace
out, bro. Peace, bro.
Yes, Sammy, man. You know, thank you, my brother, for gracing us with your presence. It's truly an honor to see you, man. I'm so glad that you're here. You're looking good.
Appreciate it, man.
Brother, I'm still following that same trajectory. Right now, I just applied to Cornell, Columbia, and their global leadership program, and MCNY, Metropolitan College of New York. The deadline is like in a week from now. So I'm done. The only thing I have to do is get my recommendation letters from Columbia. Everything else is pretty much done.
Nice.
I mean, I'm pretty much done. I only got about 4 classes left. I'm going to take 4 classes this last semester to get my bachelor's in organizational management.
Nice.
I'm still working. The grind still goes on. Work is great. It's I'm thankful. I haven't lost focus in that regard.
Yeah.
And I should be starting either in the spring if I go to if Columbia accepts me. If not, then I'll be starting in the fall at MCNY or Cornell, one or the other. But
nice. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Man.
Thank you,
it's
man.
Necessary. We need, we need these forums. I think it's important to have guys like you and Mikey B and and Jamal. I get a lot of time whenever I see him, we vibe. We just had the holidays and we spent some time together. But it's always different when you come in these forums and there's a lot of people that need help. You know what I mean? And there's one thing I hear a lot of dudes talk about being credible messengers, but you're only as credible as your credibility. You know what I mean? You can't have one foot in, one foot out. And I've been there. So I'm not, passing judgment on anybody, but just to give people an opportunity to really reflect on what they're doing and what they really want to do. You know what I mean? Because I know it's tough. I know there's a lot against us. And if they would have it, we'll be back in there, just, a number. And so one of the things, I'm not giving them that opportunity to do that. And so, I could say that I've been solid for the last couple of years of my life out here as a free man. And I've been away from stuff and I still have access, but I don't want that. It's not important to me no more. And I think, Moshe, that you're on the right track because you talk about your family and that's what's important. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, whatever, we leave for our family, whether it be, generational wealth, that's what's up. That's what we got to do. You know what I mean? All the other bullshit and the reputation and all that shit don't mean nothing. We got new breeds coming up that need direction. And I think that that's one of the things about being a credible messenger. And I always say I'm a credible messenger, is that we got to lead by example and give them opportunities to come up with their own solutions. You know what I mean? People that are involved in the problem are always the closest to the damn solutions. But yet we find many organizations, posing as the experts when they're really not the experts. If we tap into this, our youth and the people that are being impacted, then, I think that we'll come a lot closer to more effective solutions. So put that out there.
Yeah, that's peace, bro.
Peace, brother.
that's one of the things that I make. You know, I'm a case manager up here for a family reentry program in Syracuse.
Mm.
You know, coming out of prison, one of the main things I said, you know, when I got released, when I knew I was going home, because I got hit 6 times with 24 months. I made my 7th parole board, you know, and I said, me getting out, I'm not going back. I'm gonna be the example, because you know I used to be in a gang. I retired. I left that behind me. I left that in prison.
Yeah.
I've been out for 2 years. Come January 13th, this makes 2 years. And I said to myself, you know, I'm gonna be an example. So when these guys go to the parole board, they're not gonna be using me as another a link in the chain to hold them in. It's gonna be a key to let them out. They're gonna say, well, we let Mikey B out, and we know what he was doing in here and what he did before he came here, and look what he's doing out there now. So maybe this guy that's doing the same things that Mikey B is doing now in prison, maybe he'll do the same things when he get out there as well. So that was a big motivator for me as well, coming out here to the community, because you know, you get out here, there's a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different people coming at you with different things that's going on. Like, yo, what's up, bro? I got you.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm just keeping it real, you heard?
That's a fact.
And I talk. Don't get me wrong. I run a fatherhood program where I'm at. It's successful. We got grants and funding for it. And it's recognized by the whole New York State. And I'm on reentry. I'm tasked for meetings with the reentry task force of Onondaga County, which has DOC a part of it, other organizations, and you know, we're like a beacon of what's going on with reentry. We're helping people getting jobs and housing and other things. But I don't never sugarcoat who I am and where I came from, because I want these kids to know, like, yo, listen, that's who I was. You can make it, bro. You could do it without doing the 25 years that I did. You see what I'm saying? Take the 25. Don't do the time. Don't be dumb as I was. I'm a fool to have to do 25 years to come out here and be successful. You see what I'm saying? So I always use that as if I am going to talk about my story and tell my story, I'm going to do it with an asterisk and say, yo, don't be as dumb as me, man. Stay out here and do all these things now. Because like you said, all this stuff is smoke and mirrors. It's all a lie. It's all fake. You know what I mean? Yeah. All that stuff, street stuff is fake. Like even the Young Thug situation, I talked about that the other day. Look, all of those guys are telling on them, and all that gangster stuff is going right out the window. You like Rambo when you're out here in the community killing and doing stuff to your peoples. Then when you get in front of the judge, you like Gunner. Sir. Yes, sir. It was him.
Yeah.
Damn. Yes, sir. Just let me go, please.
Mike, you know we live in basically a snitch culture. And I think that we seen this, you know, developing while we were inside. And we knew if it was when it started happening in the inside, we realized that it was a different world. And I'm one to call dudes out in my hood. I do it, and that's something that I still do to this day. I don't have a problem exposing somebody, because I always say, you know, if you walk with a rat, you're a rat, because you're pretty much giving them a green light, right, to move around people that are not about that. I'm not about that. You know, I still live by certain principles and values, and even though I'm not in the street like that, I'm just don't deal with those people there. I just won't. That's just me. And I've always said too that I'm not anti-gang, I'm anti-violence. So whenever I deal with youth and they, you know, they're involved in gangs or whatever, that's what you need for your life. That's good. But it's what's even better is what you do with it. Be a leader, right? Lead your people in the right direction, bro. That's if you know what we're working with out in these communities, because right now we don't need police officers in there anymore to solve crimes. You know what I mean? I'll be watching YouTube and I see how they tell on each other. Come on, bro.
They better than the detectives, you heard?
Yeah, they better than they solve their fucking crimes.
And that was the reason why when we first came on, I spoke to Mikey and I spoke to everybody about not touching on the specifics about Blue Boy's situation, because you know we're privy to a lot of things behind the scenes, and you know information comes to us because of who we are. But it's not our place to help to build the district attorney's case. I'm not a district attorney. You know, that's not my job. You know, they do whatever they're gonna find out on their own. Hey, find it out. That's on your own, right? That's not my job to kind of help give you a fact here or an opinion there, something you can look into. You ain't getting that from me. Not from WeLockedN. Probably from some other platforms, perhaps, but not this one here.
Yeah.
You know, listen, we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't, you know, speak about recently the death of a Brooklyn legend. You know, Shushan from out of Marcy Projects. Just, you know, he just passed away a few weeks ago. His funeral services were last week. You know, as we say in Arabic, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Allah is to whom we belong, is to whom we shall return. And then unfortunately, while the individuals were at the funeral, Brother Khalil, that was working for Exodus, who did over 20 years in prison, he ends up catching a heart attack and dying, literally.
Wow.
You know, so you know, this is some of the tragic stuff that, like you just said, Sammy, life is short. I'm thankful that we did not meet our demise behind someone's prison wall. We're out here now. Life is short. Whatever we can do, man, to help be the men, the responsible men for our families, our communities, keep doing the great work that we're all doing, man. I'm just thankful to be share the same space with you guys and learn from you guys, and just strive to emulate some of the great work that you guys are doing. So I'm just thankful for that. But I want to, before we close out, mention, you know, obviously mention Shushan, who's unfortunately no longer with us and stuff like that. But yeah, he just succumbed a few weeks ago, and his funeral was last week. So shout out to his family. Condolences to Shushan's family. That was my guy. We had a little history together, but that's another story, right? That's my guy. But you know, man, listen, if y'all did not hit the subscribe button, if it's your first time pulling up, please hit the subscribe button. Like it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, then hey, don't like it, right? But share it to somebody. Anybody, at least one person who you have influence over, if you think that they could benefit from this live we did tonight, and share with them. Let them know, yo, Moshe and Mikey B, they had a good conversation tonight about a number of topics, man, and we appreciate everybody's support out there. B-Lo, thank you for that love you gave us earlier. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And listen, also subscribe to True LES Talk, please, man, and J
Jamel
Renee,
Saladin 2.0.
Prison Riot Radio. What you said, Mike?
Jamel Saladin 2.0.
Please, man, Jamel Saladin 2.0.
Kross TV.
The Rich Mindset TV. Also, look for Songs of the Condemned. Mikey B's book is about to drop on the 27th of this month. Nice. This is probably like his 18th book. No, I'm just messing. Mike got a bunch of books. I don't know what number we on.
That's like number 4.
But Mike is at number 4. Also on the 8th, please support our brother Joey P. His book From the Cage to the Stage will be dropping. This is his second book. Brothers that are formerly incarcerated, man, we using our platforms righteously, man. We trying to find whatever means we can to empower ourselves, our families, and our loved ones. So please, man, y'all, we appreciate y'all support. Again, Sammy, thank you for showing us some love tonight, man.
Peace,
thank you,
man.
bro.
Thanks for having me, boy.
Yo, man, anytime, my brother.
Man. One more thing before we go, too.
What's up, Mike?
If y'all, you know, I'm in Syracuse in the upstate area. If y'all know anybody that was arrested, or just came off from prison and they need an ID, well, I pay for IDs, I pay for permits, I pay for licenses. Also help with jobs. I got all the connections with the jobs, as well as housing. So if y'all know anybody in the Syracuse area, tell them to hit me up. DM me on Instagram, or on Mikey B is free everywhere. Just hit me up. Also, yeah, just tap in with me on that. I'm working, man. And if you're not in the area, it doesn't make a difference. If you need information, I can get you information. I can probably hook you up with somebody in the city. If you're in the city in the 5 boroughs, I know a lot of guys, a lot of organizations that'll help guys coming home from prison. So just tap in with me, and I'll connect you. I'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we doing on this side of town. You know what I mean? We work stuff.
Hey, Mikey, before we go off, in Syracuse, they just awarded $17.5 million to the Syracuse Police Department. 30% of that money is going to the gang task force. So I'm not sure if your organization is aware of that, but they got some monies that they need to divvy up between the organizations, specifically to work not in the way they have in the past with the number of arrests and the number of prison sentencing, but also to do our work and the work that you're doing. So
we got a grant. We got a grant from the job I've been working for, the work I've been doing. I've been doing this for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
So we just got a grant in October. We all put the grants in September.
Okay.
And cool. we got two grants approved in for that. One is for Reentry. One is for male engagement, for minority male engagement.
Nice.
So we got that money that we're working with it, and we're using it to do what we need to do out here in the community. All right?
Okay, that's what's up, man.
And that's why I told you we pay for all this stuff. I take guys to their meetings if they don't got the means for transportation. you know, we do all that. So if y'all know people that need this type of assistance, hit me up. And I'll connect them one way or another. You know what I mean? This is what I do. This is my job.
Cool. Also, I'll be remiss in my duties if I didn't mention Conscious Mind Ventures. Y'all already know that's my company. Please support it. Y'all see the logos right here in the top upper right. Y'all already know. Go to my IG page. You know what I'm saying? Conscious Mind Ventures. If y'all need to hit me up, y'all already know how to reach me, man. Y'all looking for some merch? I got the merch. We got the shirts. We got the hoodies. All right.
We got Hood Love hats. We got
Hood
shirts.
Love hats. If y'all need us to come speak, y'all already know how to reach us. We will definitely be in the city wherever you need us to speak at. Just tell us to pull up, man. We'll definitely come see you guys, right?
I'll be back, true. Just hit me up, text it to me, send it to me when you go online. Just share it with me, bro. Yeah, I've definitely been busy, bro. I've been working on my house, you know, doing my work, you know, just that's a lot of work, bro. You know what I'm saying? We gotta work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've definitely been busy.
All right, man, Sammy. Thank you, man.
Hey, Sammy, nice meeting you, bro.
Bless
thank
you,
you,
man.
Sammy,
See
my
you,
brother.
man.
All right.
Yo, peace to everybody in the chat, man. We love and respect y'all out there. Thank y'all, man, for tuning
Salute.
in.
You already know it's We Locked In.
That's it, man. Moshe, Mikey B, KK. We locked in, y'all. Peace, man.
Salute.